promise. I'm making a promise, ain't doing no threat. You said you gon' do something, that's a threat. I got me a shooter, he shoot at your neck. You bargain your luck, better put on a vest. It's too late to go back, you should know what is next. Yeah, we set you up, red tape, that is tough. Set you up, red tape, that is tough. Set you up, red tape, that is tough. Set you up, don't play around, don't get no fuck. Niggas be riding the dick more than bitches do. Always claiming some kin in you. Put a knife in your back so I not like the Uzi ooze. Knock you right out your Prada shoe. I remember they told me I wasn't cool. Now they bitch on my dick and she swallowed too. And she told me she not even into you. So I'm taking your bitch, that's what real niggas do. I need about 23 million locked away before I ball with it. I don't be flexible when I do it, I be killing niggas. Niggas be hating, they step into a murder charge with it. I know they was faking, they told a nigga they was all with it. Step to the plate, I knock you off, yeah, it's off with it. No debates, you watch your mouth before you talk with it. Givenchy, I take a picture, go to Ross with it. No clothes on, one hand, Randy Moss in it. Get the bigger picture, cut a couple bitches out, what don't you understand? You told me my life don't matter, it's crazy how shit's going backwards. You said I wasn't shit, you only fuck with a nigga, what don't you understand? You told me my life don't matter, you don't matter to me. Ay, who is you, my nigga, you are nobody. Tough talking on the net, boy, I promise. I'm making a promise, ain't doing no threat. You said you gon' do something, that's a threat. I got me a shooter.
But I mean, it's all good. Nigga, I got the ball smacked out of my eyeball. That joint was crazy. Bro, they went up. Who was fighting for the ball? Bro said this. Because he saw us finna get it, so he went like this to the ball. Boom. He smacked the ball, and I was right there, so when I did, boom. Remember when LeBron said I was seeing 3 rims and I chose the middle? Yeah. And went up with a powerful ass layup, bro. I was like, yes. Because the game was tied, right?
Hold on a sec.
Huh?
I'm going to unmute now. Oh, wait. I'm already unmuted. Hey, guys. What's up?
Bro, game was tied 58-58. We was trading baskets like the whole second half. And Trev was like, okay, whoever got ball, hold that. And whoever got ball when 7 seconds hits, drive to the basket and take it. I had the ball. I wasted it was like 25 seconds on the clock. I was finna give it to Hayden because I was just like, you know what, here, take the last shot. But Hayden was like, Tim, you got it? I was like, yeah. And then little short dude, Ladarius, he was torching us the whole game. He had like 21 points. And I'm over here just looking at him. He backed up to the paint, and I was just holding it. And then like 10 seconds hit, he stepped up past the 3. I was like, oh, I got you now. This is a foot race. I went 1, 2, took it to the basket. You know Sam, the one who came here asking for a belt. He stood there, and he blocked one of my shots, too. So he felt like, oh, yeah, I got this. Bro, I went up like I was finna dunk it. I said, And then he was like, right here. I was like, all right, bet. He's not over me, so I can get this up. Top of the glass, it rattled and went, and I was like,
let's go.
4 seconds left on the clock. I'm like,
you the game winner on these? That's great. Attaboy.
Oh, but I can, yeah. But I'm currently impaired as far as my vision goes.
Who did y'all play?
I told you, Sam.
Oh, I mean, what seed was that?
They were last place.
Oh, okay, well.
And we only had 6 people.
Oh, okay, well, I mean, at least y'all still.
We only had 6 people, and nobody runs back on defense. They had like 20 fast break points. I'm like, bro, get back on defense with me.
So, I hope you guys enjoyed the story. My roommate just hit a game winner. So,
yes, sir.
Yeah, today we're going to be doing a lot of things. Mainly, today is going to be like a research stream because I have stuff that I'm doing. I spent the last 2 hours trying to get this stream on TikTok as well.
Yeah,
but
I thought you would have been started. I thought the stream would have been over. I'm not even going to lie.
It was supposed to be over, but I spent so much time trying to actually set it up that it took way longer than I expected. So
I'm thinking I'm finna walk into the live stream.
But now I am finally beginning. We're going to be covering a lot of things. Donald Trump, Big Don lad, might be going to big jail.
Trumpy.
I actually was going to pull up an article about this. What it looks like is that the Manhattan Attorney General, I believe, or DA, I'm not sure which one he is bringing formal charges against Trump well, has already brought them, I'm pretty sure, and now he's going to be getting arrested on Wednesday, at least on Wednesday. I need to look up.
Did he say he was supposed to be getting arrested today?
Yeah, he's supposed to get arrested today, but then something came out where it was like, it was big, it was like, what did I say? It was very unlikely that he was going to actually get arrested today, because they have a grand jury that's going to start on Wednesday. More people supporting him after this kind of proves the country's headed towards self-destruction. Yeah, kind of.
The end is near.
He did nothing wrong. Oh, Lord, we gonna have to...
Out!
We gonna have to get to, what's going on here. Donald Trump said he expects to be arrested. What would happen next? I have this interesting thing where I can actually just read everything to me, which actually kind of makes everything better.
Speech fact.
Yeah. Manhattan grand jury is hearing evidence about whether Donald Trump illegally falsified business records. Before I even start, hey, if you guys haven't subscribed or anything, make sure you do that. Hold on, let me get rid of these little bars around my face cam. It's kind of weird.
Oh yeah, also, on my first 8 points, I had 6 of them.
Oh, merch. How much did you put up total?
9.
Oh, well, trash!
I was letting them do their thing. I was like, okay, yeah, Hayden had the hot hand. He had 26. I was like, just keep getting the ball to Hayden.
Yeah.
I thought I had double digits, but the last shot I had should have been a foul too. But they didn't call it, so I'm like, bro, if they hit a 3 and game it, we gonna jump the basketball players. Oh yeah.
Trump illegally falsified business records in connection with the hush money payment his lawyer made to an adult film actress during his 20s. This was the whole Stormy Daniels thing. I thought that they'd been investigated it, but I guess this was like a big thing during the actual election, but no one actually decided to further inquire about this. But yeah, like I said, make sure you subscribe. Everything, link in the description, other socials, and donations if you want to make those. I'm going to be trying to live stream regularly. I actually probably shouldn't live stream today. If you hear my colleagues in this dorm screaming, they've been doing this all day. I don't think have you noticed it? No. They've been doing this, oh shit, since I woke up.
Nigga, I've been half asleep and out.
Since I woke up, they've been doing...
Well, I was out when you woke up.
I'm about to rant. Since I woke up, motherfuckers in this residence hall have been doing this howling bullshit. I know they've been doing it all year, but today it's been all day. Well, like, occasionally you hear them walk past the window outside, and you hear them do the little yell or whatever. They've been doing it inside the entire day. What is today? Is today not St. Patty's Day? That was the 17th. Today's a random Tuesday at the end of March. And people are howling.
It's the 21st, bro. I don't know.
What does it mean? Ain't nothing significant about today. Motherfuckers just want to howl.
What, is it the first day of spring?
Is it? I'm not sure anymore.
It might be.
Why does the first day of spring mean we howl? That's some... Alright, bro. Anyway.
I guess the waves of the moonlight or something.
The waves of the moonlight is fucking crazy. They've been doing this shit since I woke up. But yeah, so this was the Stormy Daniels thing. And I thought that this was already like a done and dusted, like, let me turn this shit down. Why is it so loud? I'm sorry, guys. I thought this was already like a done and dusted thing that like we just kind of, it got looked into when it happened, and then no one really found anything, but apparently they just didn't do shit. Let's actually listen to this.
Donald Trump said he expects to be arrested. What would happen next? Grand jury proceedings are secret, and there is no way to know if Trump will be indicted. But here's what that would mean. Former President Donald Trump speaks with reporters as he lands. Former President Donald Trump. A Manhattan grand jury is hearing evidence about whether Donald Trump illegally falsified business records in connection with a hush money payment his lawyer made to an adult film actress during his 2016 presidential campaign. The grand jury could vote at any time on whether to charge Trump with a crime. He would be the first former president indicted in U.S. history. The grand jury process is secret, so there is no way to know if Trump was right when he told his social media followers that he expects to be charged with a crime. But here's what would happen if Trump is indicted, how law enforcement is preparing for potential unrest, the next steps in the case, and...
Yeah, I saw there was something that came out where they were starting to set up like barriers around like is the precinct, or I don't remember, wherever they'd be taking him to see the grand jury or whatever, or after the grand jury when he gets charged. They were setting up barricades for when they escort him out, because I guess there's going to be a lot of unrest as the first former president to have been brought up on charges. Now, you want to know what's funny, right? Being arrested does not necessarily mean that you committed a crime. This is a fact. But something that I've learned from my criminal justice class is that once it gets to a certain point in the system, it's kind of shocking, you know, because it's not like he got pulled over somewhere and they decided, yeah, coach, we're gonna do this. Basically, how a grand jury works is that they take you to see the jury and everything, and essentially it's just the prosecution that's going to be providing what their case is. This isn't an actual trial in which you have the defense and the prosecution and they argue back and forth. They try to convince a jury. Basically, the prosecution's going to be providing all their evidence to a jury to see whether or not they actually have something to move forward with when it comes to charging Donald Trump. And if upon that evidence being presented to the jury thinks that, yeah, they do have a case against him, they'll be voted to bring a formal bill of indictment, I think, against Donald Trump, which is a list of the formal charges. And once they do that, then we get to the actual beginning stages of the trial. So hypothetically, if they do go see the grand jury and he comes back out, well, I mean, he's probably going to be in handcuffs. If not, but if he does go to the grand jury and they come back out and it turns out that they did bring charges against him, it's very bad, because then that means that the prosecution or the state is very confident that they have a case against him that can actually go, because they're not going to take this case up against Donald Trump if it's unlikely that they're going to win it, because, you know, the public backlash, everything, especially with someone as high profile as Donald Trump. As much as we all want him to just get thrown behind bars, if the prosecutors do not believe that they have a strong enough case to win against him, then they will not bring formal charges against him. If they do, it's looking fucking wild. Hypothetically, how can they get a non-passenger? I have no clue. Actually, you know, technically, I think more people... It's weird, because I feel like when it comes to the jury selection process, they're going to strike a lot of people from this jury. Because how do you not know about Donald Trump? You literally have to be living under a rock. But I think at this point, it's kind of going to be like people who are politically ambivalent, because I think everybody's heard about Donald Trump. It's got to be people who are like kind of like politically ambivalent. I don't know how they're going to test for that. And people who don't know the ins and outs of the Stormy Daniels thing. Because like me, I'm about to do some research now. I know a lot about Trump and I know a lot about politics. I don't know the ins and outs of the Stormy Daniels thing, besides I've heard it before. But I definitely wouldn't be able to serve on a jury about it. Or non-partial. Yeah, non-partial. I don't know what the hell I thought Pasher meant. I was saying if it happens, Fox. He's definitely slipping away. Yeah. We'll see, though. We shall see. We shall see.
Why did Trump claim he would be arrested? For days, Trump advisors and lawyers have expected that he will be indicted in the New York case. And on Saturday morning, Trump posted on his social media platform that he will be arrested on Tuesday of next week. Protest, take our nation back. But advisors to Trump said in the wake of his social media posting that they have not received a notification about an indictment. They said the former president predicted the timing of a potential indictment based on media reports that law enforcement officials were expected to convene to discuss security and logistics that may be necessary if he is charged.
Imagine being such a fucking balloon head and someone who gets so much of their media from or news from social media that even when the news is about you, you get it from social media. My dude, the news is about you getting arrested, and your lawyers didn't contact you like, yeah, they're officially bringing these charges, get ready to be arrested on Tuesday. He saw people tweeting that he was gonna get arrested on Tuesday. He probably saw that TikTok that typical Democrat made on TikTok or whatever, saying he's gonna get arrested on Tuesday, and he said, oh shit, I'm gonna get arrested on Tuesday, and then put it on Bumble or whatever the fuck his platform is. Imagine being that much of an asshat. But advisors to Trump said in the wake of his social media posting that they have not received notification about an indictment. They said that the former president predicted the timing of a potential indictment based on media reports that the law enforcement officials were expected to convene to discuss the security and logistics. That he probably watched Fox News and it said they're getting closer to arresting him. And he said, oh shit, This is the first time I'm hearing about this.
Will Trump be arrested? Is that different than being indicted? When someone is indicted by a grand jury, it means they are charged with a crime. An indictment is just a fancy way of saying the charging document, said Anna G. Kaminsky, a professor at New York Law School. It is a piece of paper that contains the charges. After people are indicted, they may be placed in handcuffs and arrested, or they can voluntarily turn themselves in and avoid being taken into custody in public. Kaminsky said it seems unlikely that Trump would be publicly arrested since his attorneys appear to be in communication with prosecutors and could arrange for him to surrender. Should he refuse to surrender, prosecutors would need to go to officials in Florida, where Trump resides, and ask for permission to extradite him to New York. What would happen once Trump was in custody? Once a suspect who has been indicted is in police custody, police or other law enforcement process them behind closed doors, taking mugshots and fingerprints. The process is identical whether the person has been arrested or has agreed, or negotiated through lawyers, to turn themselves in. What happens behind closed doors would still be the same, Kaminsky said. He would still be fingerprinted, he would still have his photos taken, he would still be processed, but there wouldn't be people coming to Mar-a-Lago and putting him in handcuffs if he voluntarily surrenders. After an indictment and surrender,
I think what's gonna happen is if they indict him, they're just gonna surrender him and try to avoid a public spectacle. Or, because you know how the Trump brain works, he could play it in the exact inverse way where he tries to make a public spectacle about it because he wants people to protest and take their country back so we can have January 7th or some shit instead of January 6th.
what are the next steps? The first proceeding after a potential Trump indictment and surrender, or, far less likely, an arrest, would be an arraignment hearing in a Manhattan courtroom. That is likely the latest point at which the charges and evidence against the former president would be made public, although it is possible they would be revealed earlier. At the arraignment, a judge would determine whether Trump would need to pay bail or adhere to certain restrictions pending a trial, or whether he could be released with no bail or restrictions, which is known as being released on personal recognizance.
My take on this, I think he might end up, they low-key might release him with no bail or restrictions. Because, again, he is a former president, but I don't think he's the type to necessarily be a flight risk. But if I'm the judge, I'm basically making sure that he's not gonna be a flight risk. I don't know the logistics of a former president being able to escape to, fucking Acapulco or some shit. But I'm making sure for damn sure that that's not happening if I'm the judge. But I think as, a classy/PR move, he's probably gonna be released with no... If they hold him, that's crazy. April 1st, January 6th equal. On April Fool's Day is crazy. Imagine they do that. That would be some goofy shit that they would do. Someone said he was that Mean Girl scene where she finds out Lohan switched up. Lord have mercy.
The judge will also set the next court date, which is the first step toward pretrial hearings, possible plea negotiations, or an eventual trial. Generally speaking, bail is reserved only for people considered to be a flight risk or accused of a significant violent crime. In this case, it would be extremely unlikely for there to be anything but release on his own recognizance, Kaminsky said. What are Republicans saying about Trump's call to protests? Republicans have attacked Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg's prosecution but still have largely attempted to discourage people from heeding Trump's calls to protest. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, Republican California, said at a news conference Sunday that Trump supporters should not protest if the former president is indicted. Ali Alexander, who helped organize the Stop
in Congress aren't going to be happy with that.
Steal movement, which claimed the 2020 election was fraudulently stolen from Trump, tweeted that his group would not be protesting Trump's possible indictment, warning that protesters would be jailed or worse if they rally in New York City. But there were some small, scattered protests in Manhattan and elsewhere early this week. Why are New York police beefing up security? Law enforcement officials across the country have said they are preparing for possible unrest if Trump is indicted. In places including Atlanta and Palm Beach, Florida, authorities reviewed their options to contain demonstrations and keep...
Florida's gonna be crazy. I feel like in Florida they just gonna start shooting people. But yeah, this is basically what's going on with Donald Trump. Now, I want to delve deeply into the whole Stormy Daniels stuff. But I do have to study. And also, we are going to be looking at a video surrounding the Andrew Tate controversy. Because I made a TikTok recently about it. We'll get into that later. But I made a TikTok recently about Tate and Sneeko. And I received a bunch of idiots in my comments who were saying things like, oh, all the charges are getting debunked. The women were lying, da da da. And someone told me they're going to send me a video. And they did send me a video, which is this video up here. So I'll be watching that. Ignore all this. I'm in the middle of doing a research paper. We're gonna be reading these. Actually, I'm doing a literature review for my English class, but we're gonna be reading some of these sources later on. That just depends on how long I'm gonna be streaming. We got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to do. So stay tuned and share this. I'm finna share this actually to my timeline. I'm gonna actually share this to my Instagram and everything because I completely forgot to tweet this out. Cool, I tweeted it out. And then we're gonna get to reading this. It's a 9-minute document. Nice read. Let's see if I can sorry, I'm gonna be let's read this in the meantime.
Timeline, Donald Trump, Stormy Daniels and the $130,000 payment to buy her silence. By Stefan Beckett, updated on March 20th, 2023, 7:01 p.m/CBS News, Washington. Manhattan prosecutors investigating former President Donald Trump's alleged hush money payment of $130,000 to adult film star Stormy Daniels in 2016 recently invited the former president to testify in the probe. A step that
I'm sorry. The United States just lost to Japan in the World Baseball Classic. That's pain. And what's even more pain is that Shohei Ohtani struck out Mike Trout to win it, which they're teammates. Wow. Look at this shit.
He throws. Trout strikes out swinging.
Damn. They lost, bro. USA sold the bag, man. God damn it. But like I was doing, let me post this. Cool. Take this little picture. Cool. How do I put a link in? Yep. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I can't multitask and, like, talk while I do this at the same time. Just give me a second. Damn. I can't believe Japan. I mean, I can believe that Japan won, but that's so crazy that he faced his teammate in the last at-bat to win it. Okay. You had Japan winning? Yeah, the world done cut up. But America's never been that good at baseball. That's the problem. America's been good, but in the World Baseball Classic, none of the Hall of Famers or none of the legends or the great players in the game usually play. They usually abstain from it. This year was very, very good. And I thought America could pull it out, but I guess Japan had other plans. All right, now let's dig into some of this evidence about the whole Stormy Daniels thingy, because I was too young to understand what the hell was going on when it first started.
Washington. Manhattan prosecutors investigating former President Donald Trump's alleged hush money payment of $130,000 to adult film star Stormy Daniels in 2016 recently invited the former president to testify in the probe, a step that commonly comes before an indictment in New York. The alleged scheme first came to light years ago, when Trump was still in office, but the investigation has gained new momentum in recent months, with the Manhattan District Attorney's Office convening a grand jury to examine the matter. An indictment of a former president would be a first in American history and a politically explosive step, with Trump seeking the GOP nomination for president in 2024. His attorney has said he has no plans to participate in the probe, and the former president has denounced the investigation as a witch hunt. On Saturday, Trump said he...
Imagine he goes to jail, bro. What's up, Karan? Imagine he goes to jail. That's absolutely nuts. Just for a second, just take a break and just enter the absolutely phenomenal scenario in which Donald Trump goes to jail. Oh my God. Absolute top-notch stuff. Wait, I'm stupid trying to take a picture of the... I'm live on YouTube right now, so click the link in my bio, and yeah, we talking about a lot of stuff, so make sure you subscribe while you're there. Cool. I wonder if I can actually put links and stuff on TikToks. I don't think I can. Yeah, I can't. But cool, it's whatever. Discard the live countdown. All right. Posted my story. Cool. All right. I had to post my TikTok story as well. Now, back to this. Let's listen.
Expects to be arrested in New York on Tuesday and called for his supporters to protest. The developments in the Manhattan case have once again drawn attention to Trump and his allies' well-documented efforts to suppress damaging stories ahead of the 2016 election and the sprawling investigations that ensued. Michael Cohen, his former attorney and fixer, eventually pleaded guilty to campaign finance charges stemming from his involvement with the payments and served 3 years in prison. The following timeline of those efforts and the district attorney's evolving investigation is based on court records, public filings and comments made by the key players involved. Trump has denied many of the details below and said he never had affairs with Daniels, whose real name is Stephanie Clifford, nor Karen McDougal, another woman who alleged a relationship and was paid for her silence. 2006. July. According to an interview Daniels would give to 60 Minutes in 2018, Daniels meets Trump, the star of NBC's hit show The Apprentice, at a celebrity golf tournament at Lake Tahoe in Nevada. She says he invited her to dinner, and she met him at his hotel suite, where they had sex. He later invites her to a Trump vodka launch party in California, as well as to his office in Trump Tower in New York. Daniels is 27 at the time. Trump is 60.
God damn, bro. I mean, I knew, of course, I knew that it wasn't no traditionally non-weird relationship, even though they're both grown people, they're both consenting adults at this time, but 27 to 60 is mad. He looks like this, bro. I'm not gonna do it.
Had recently given birth to their son. 2007. July. A year after their first interaction, Trump asked,
and what? His wife just gave birth. This man's out here lemon pepper stepping, not giving a damn about the world. Shit.
Daniels to meet at his bungalow at the Beverly Hills Hotel in Los Angeles to discuss a possible appearance on the spin-off Celebrity Apprentice. The two spend 4 hours together but don't have sex, Daniels says later, and she leaves after Trump says he is still working on securing her a spot on the show. August. Trump calls Daniels and tells her he couldn't get her on Celebrity Apprentice. 2011. May. Daniels gives an interview to the magazine In Touch describing her encounters with Trump in exchange for $15,000. Two employees later tell CBS News that the interview never ran because Michael Cohen, Trump's attorney, threatened to sue when the publication asked Trump for comment. Daniels says she was never paid. A few weeks later, Daniels says she is threatened by a man who approaches her in Las Vegas and tells her to leave Trump alone and forget the story. 2016. June. Karen McDougal, an actress and former Playboy model, begins trying to sell her story of an alleged affair she had with Trump in 2006 and 2007. She retains attorney Keith Davidson, who approaches the National Enquirer about a possible deal. July 19th. Trump secures the Republican Party's nomination for president. August 5th. The National Enquirer secures the rights to McDougal's account for $150,000 but never publishes her story, a tactic known as catch and kill. Federal prosecutors later say the agreement was meant to suppress her story so as to prevent it from influencing the election. August and September. Cohen reaches an agreement with David Pecker, the chairman and CEO of the National Enquirer's parent company, American Media Incorporated, AMI, to secure the non-disclosure portion of the company's deal with McDougal for $125,000. The deal between Cohen and AMI is never finalized, but Cohen retains a copy of the draft agreement. October 8th. Daniels is now also represented by Davidson, who tells Dylan Howard, the editor-in-chief of the National Enquirer, that she is willing to go on the record about her alleged affair. Howard and Pecker inform Cohen about the conversation and put Cohen in touch with Davidson. Cohen negotiates a deal to pay Daniels $130,000 in exchange for the rights to her story and a non-disclosure agreement.
Oh, shit. Well,
October 17th. Cohen files paperwork to incorporate a firm known as Essential Consultants LLC in Delaware. October 25th. No deal with Daniels has been finalized, and Davidson tells Cohen, Howard and Pecker that his client is close to reaching an agreement with another outlet to tell her story. Cohen agrees to finalize the deal. October 26th. Cohen opens a bank account for Essential Consultants and transfers $131,000 he obtained by taking...
Oh, okay. I see what's going on here. So, Steve Cohen, who's Trump's lawyer, started a LLC that's kind of a ghost LLC. Is no real purpose besides the transaction that was about to take place in Delaware, because obviously everything's incorporated in Delaware. They have very friendly business laws. And Stormy Daniels' lawyer is pressing them, telling them they're finna go on outlets to tell the stories about Trump and the hush money, or to tell a story about Trump and their sexual relations or something like that. And under that pressure, because he doesn't want that story to get out and taint the election results, he reaches the agreement with Stormy Daniels, pays her and her lawyer the hush money, then transfers $130,000 to the LLC the fake LLC that he made, so he can pay the money to Stormy Daniels and the lawyer from that instead of directly from him or close to Trump, because that would make it look more suspicious. At least allegedly. This is what I'm coming from, so you can't sue me. Yep.
October 27th, Cohen wires $130,000 to Davidson, Daniels' attorney.
We have
November
the
1st,
bank documents. Why the hell would you...
November 1st, Cohen receives signed copies of the agreement between Peggy Peterson and David Dennison. It is dated October 28. In an accompanying letter, Peterson is identified as a pseudonym for
Damn,
Daniels.
they put the damn receipts here.
In an accompanying letter, Peterson is identified as a pseudonym for Daniels. The identity of Dennison is redacted in later court filings, but Daniels' attorney later says it was the name used by Trump. The agreement bears the signatures of Daniels, Davidson, and Cohen, but the signature for Dennison is blank. November 4th, the Wall Street Journal publishes a report detailing the $150,000 deal between McDougal and AMI. A Trump campaign spokeswoman calls McDougal's claims of an affair totally untrue, and AMI says it has not paid people to kill damaging stories about Mr. Trump.
Oh, okay. This is where we all heard about it during the actual election process. Okay. We just go... Wait. Go back up. Damn.
November 4th, the Wall Street Journal publishes a report detailing the $150,000 deal between McDougal and AMI. A Trump campaign spokeswoman calls
This was
McDougal's
true.
claims of an affair totally untrue,
If this
and AMI
came
says
out
it has not
in,
paid
like,
people
the
to kill
80s,
damaging
he would've
stories about
lost.
Mr. Trump. The journal story mentions that Daniels was in discussions with ABC's Good Morning America in recent months to publicly disclose what she said was a past relationship with Mr. Trump, according to people familiar with the talks. November 8th, Election Day. Trump is elected president, defeating Democrat Hillary Clinton. 2017, January, Cohen seeks reimbursement from the Trump Organization for $180,035, $130,000 for the payment to Daniels, plus a wiring fee and an extra $50,000. Trump Organization executives double the reimbursement to $360,000 and add another $60,000, for a total of $420,000 to be paid in monthly installments for 12 months. Cohen sends invoices for $35,000 per month and receives $420,000 from the company over the course of the year.
Hey, give me some of that money, boy. I'll cover up some stories
Cohen
for
sends
you.
invoices for $35,000 per month and receives $420,000 from the company over the course of the year. January 20th, Trump is sworn in as the 45th President of the United States. 2018.
Was he really arrested? Not yet. Now, it's unlikely that they're gonna let him get arrested publicly, but from what it looks like it's gonna happen, Comic Book Kid, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate you. But from what it looks like is gonna happen is that he's gonna be indicted. He's going to be brought before a grand jury to get a list of charges or whatever, and after he gets in front of the grand jury, they're either going to, his lawyer, if they have a case against him, and they make it known that they have a case against him, his lawyers are either going to try to turn, or he's going to try to turn himself in, his lawyers are going to negotiate so that he doesn't have to get arrested, or if he doesn't just surrender and let them arrest him, then it's going to be a public spectacle where he gets arrested. I think the last one is the least likely, but it depends on what the grand jury indictment looks like. If the grand jury determines that the prosecution has a case against Trump, he will be in custody and he will get fingerprinted and mugshot like any other criminal. They're just not going to do it publicly because, you know, former president can't have my dignity, da-da-da. I would love to see it happen, though, publicly.
January 12th.
Right now, we're just looking at some of the evidence and stuff in the whole Stormy Daniels thing.
The Wall Street Journal publishes an article detailing the $130,000 payment to Daniels, the first public acknowledgement of the scheme. Cohen says Trump vehemently denies having an affair but does not address the payment. Cohen also sends a statement he claims is from Stormy Daniels, saying the stories of an affair are false. February 13th, Cohen acknowledges making the payment to Daniels for the first time, but denies being reimbursed and says it was not connected to the Trump campaign, both assertions that he will later recant. Neither the Trump Organization nor the Trump campaign was a party to the transaction with Ms. Clifford, and neither reimbursed me for the payment, either directly or indirectly, Cohen said in a statement. The payment to Ms. Clifford was lawful, and was not a campaign contribution or a campaign expenditure by anyone. March 6th, Daniels, who is now represented by attorney Michael Avenatti, sues Trump and Essential Consultants LLC in California, an attempt to nullify the non-disclosure agreement, arguing that the deal is invalid since Trump never signed it. The suit alleges she began an intimate relationship with Trump in...
Because it did say, if we scroll back up here, the Davidson signature, which is, I guess, Trump's pseudonym, is never on here, which is, this is an NDL. Why would you not... How would you not put your name on the non-disclosure agreement meant to keep her silent? When, in order to, like, unless you're trying to say, oh, just to not get myself on paperwork signing something, but you have the bank transfers anyway, so if you're subpoenaed for any reason to get that information in the public, they're going to have the wire transfers. And if, especially because it's related to campaign finance, that's already gonna be public knowledge. So you had your lawyer do all the bullshit that's easily trackable, but you just didn't put your name on the NDL. Are you dumb? So now that leaves the door open for her to sue your ass because you didn't sign the NDL. Oh, Lord.
March 6, Daniels, who is now represented by attorney Michael Avenatti, sues Trump and Essential Consultants LLC in California, an attempt to nullify the non-disclosure agreement, arguing that the deal is invalid since Trump never signed it. The suit alleges she began an intimate relationship with Trump in 2006 that ended the following year. She says she accepted $130,000 from Cohen in exchange for her silence about the alleged relationship. The agreement and an accompanying letter are included in the filing. Daniels also alleges Cohen used intimidation and coercive tactics to get her to sign on to the statement denying the affair. March 9, Avenatti releases emails showing Cohen used his Trump Organization email address to arrange a wire transfer connected to the agreement.
Why
April
would you
5th,
do
in his
that?
first public comment on the matter, Trump says he was unaware of the $130,000 payment. April 9th, FBI agents execute a search warrant at Cohen's home and office. The search is the first indication of a federal probe into Cohen's actions. Trump later calls the search a disgrace. April 30th, Daniels sues Trump for defamation over a tweet in which he wrote that her claims that she was threatened in 2011 were a total con job. May 2nd, Rudy Giuliani, newly hired as Trump's personal attorney, makes the startling admission that the president reimbursed Cohen for the $130,000.
Wait, Rudy Giuliani admitted it? Mr. Trump told reporters he was not aware of the payment, that he didn't know where Cohen had gotten the money. Giuliani made the revelation in the Hannity.
At Charmin, we're
Rudy Giuliani is the type of dumbass to do that.
We doubly tested our Charmin.
We don't care, Charmin. Rudy Giuliani is the type of idiot to actually admit. He admitted that. It's not looking good, boys. Because that's a campaign finance violation in itself, which means that they will charge his ass.
It leaves President Trump facing new legal questions this morning about whether he knew about an attempt to silence Stormy Daniels. The president's new lawyer says that Mr. Trump actually repaid the $130,000 that attorney Michael Cohen gave to the adult film star after an alleged affair.
This contradicts the president's past statement that he was unaware of Cohen's payment. Giuliani.
You remember when
Says Mr. Trump.
You know how like Joe Biden gets memed and gets controversied at, I guess, however you want to phrase it, every 3 seconds because he like stutters, or because he'll like fall on like walking up the stairs of Air Force One. Remember when this shit was the drama coming out of the White House? Any other time period, any other president, any other era when we aren't living in a society in which people can literally lie to you and then have half the country tell you that that's not actually what you saw, and Donald Trump is impeached on that immediately or has to step down. Obama, if the story comes out that Obama is alleged of paying a porn star to keep silent about their affair while he was married to Michelle and she was pregnant with their daughter, and then if that becomes an allegation that has a shred of credibility, Obama's impeached. And then if he hires a lawyer whose lawyer admits that Trump paid his lawyer back, that Obama paid his lawyer back for sending the hush money, he's gone. No two ways about it. He's gone. He's just done. And y'all telling me that Joe Biden is so bad because he stuttered. Bro, this is...
Did not know about the specifics of the arrangement. Weijia Zhang is at the White House. Weijia, good morning.
Good morning, Anthony. President Trump is firing off tweets right now saying Cohen was working on a retainer and not connected to the campaign, adding these sorts of non-disclosure agreements are common among celebrities, presumably talking about himself. But
Jesus.
CBS News has learned that last night, White House staffers were stunned to see Giuliani making the same revelations on television.
I'm giving you a fact now that you don't know. It's not campaign money. No campaign finance violation.
Rudy Giuliani said Wednesday night that President Trump reimbursed his personal attorney, Michael Cohen, for a $130,000 payment Cohen made to keep adult film star Stormy Daniels quiet 11 days before the election.
Funneled through a law firm, and the president repaid it.
Oh, I didn't know he did.
Yeah.
Why would you say that?
Said on Air Force One last month.
President, did you know about the $130,000 payment to Stormy Daniels? Then why did Michael Cohen make it if there was
That's a lie.
Giuliani
That's
said
a lie.
the president did not know the details.
He didn't know about the specifics of it, as far as I know. But he did know about the general arrangement that Michael would take care of things like this.
Why would you say this on live television? If they don't put his ass in jail simply for being a dumbass.
February statement, Cohen admitted to using his own personal funds to facilitate the payment, adding neither the Trump organization nor the Trump campaign was a party to the transaction. Giuliani explained Mr. Trump paid Cohen back in increments of $35,000.
When I heard Cohen's retainer of $35,000 when he was doing no work for the president, I said, well, that's how he's repaying. That's how he's repaying it.
Thank you, Rudy. Rudy's a great lawyer, you know, doing all the legal work for the opposition. Why the fuck would you tell us your personal interpretation of where the $35,000 was going to Michael Cohen? You're his new lawyer. You don't come in and be like, Michael Cohen was on a retainer for $35,000. You know what? Michael Cohen is the type of guy to pay the hush money payments or whatever. This is probably the money that's going back to him. Why would you say that? You just incriminated. Why would you say that? Now you're saying it had nothing to do with campaign finance, but the logical next step is to check and make sure that has nothing to do with campaign finance. And if they bring that charge against him, well, you're fucked. They just trying to put pressure on him not to run, in my opinion. No! Well, I mean, if indirectly, I guess so, because, but who's they? My thing is, if they were trying to make up some bogus shit to say, oh, Trump, you did some bad things, don't run. They would never do that anyway, because they had a billion other scandals that Trump literally created for himself while he was president. So a scandal's not going to take that man down at this point. The only thing that's going to take that man down is literally the legal system. And we know that this man has committed crimes. I'm pretty sure that they were looking into investigating him when it comes to financial crimes or inflated tax numbers or whatever, or inflate on his tax returns because of the real estate crimes or whatever he was doing in New York allegedly. I don't know who they is, but I mean, if they were trying to start a scandal about him to put pressure on him not to run, I don't think that's gonna work necessarily, considering that his whole presidency was a scandal and he got impeached twice, and there are millions of motherfuckers who still want him to be president again.
Avenatti said Giuliani's remarks could possibly indicate bank fraud or money laundering.
Rudy Giuliani, based on what I've just seen, stated that there were bogus law firm bills. Well, guess what? That's fraud. That's illegal.
Giuliani's admission comes amid a big shuffle in the White House legal team. Senior attorney Tate announced a surprise resignation yesterday, and he'll be replaced by former Clinton impeachment.
You remember when we had a White House where everyone would resign every 4 seconds? Good times. JJ live. Yeah, I am, Kobe. Yes, sir.
Timeline, Donald Trump, Stormy Daniels, and the $130,000 payment to buy her silence. Organization falsified business records of reimbursements payments to Cohen. October 15th, a federal judge dismisses Daniels'
Wait, go back?
$1,000 payment. April 9th, FBI agents execute a search warrant at Cohen's home and office. The search is the first indication of a federal probe into Cohen's act. May 3rd, Trump tweets that Cohen received a monthly retainer, not from the campaign and having nothing to do with the campaign, from which he entered into, through reimbursement, a private contract between two parties, known as a non-disclosure agreement, or NDA. He adds that, only from the campaign, or campaign contributions, played no role, in this transaction. July 20th, with pressure on Cohen mounting, CNN publishes a recording of a phone call between Cohen and Trump in which they discuss the payment to McDougal before it was made. August 21st, Cohen pleads guilty to 8 federal charges of tax evasion, fraud and campaign finance violations related to the payments to Daniels and McDougal. He tells a federal court in Manhattan that Trump directed instructed him to make the payments. August 28, CBS News reports that the Manhattan District Attorney's Office has opened an investigation and is considering pursuing criminal charges against the Trump Organization, 1 week after Cohen's guilty plea. Investigators are said to be looking into whether the Trump Organization falsified business records of reimbursements payments to Cohen. October 15, a federal judge dismisses Daniels' defamation lawsuit, saying the president's comments were hyperbolic but protected under the First Amendment. December 11, the judge who threw out Daniels' defamation case orders her to pay $293,052 to cover Trump's legal fees. Daniels would fight the May 3rd, Trump tweets that Cohen received a monthly retainer, not from the campaign and having nothing to do with the campaign. August 21st, Cohen pleads guilty to 8 federal charges of tax evasion, fraud and December 11.
$300,000 because they couldn't prove defamation? Are you for real?
December 11th, the judge who threw out Daniels' defamation case orders her to pay $293,052 to cover Trump's legal fees. Daniels would fight the ruling all the way to the Supreme Court, which declines to hear the case 3 years later. December 12th, Cohen is sentenced to 3 years in federal prison. After the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York agrees not to prosecute AMI, the company admits to burying McDougal's story to help Trump's campaign. 2019. May 6th, Cohen reports to federal prison in upstate New York. July 18th, documents from the now concluded federal probe into the payments suggest Trump was aware of efforts to buy the silence of both women in the days leading up to the election. The documents showed repeated communication between Cohen and Trump, as well as one phone call that included Daniels' lawyer and the AMI executives. Based on the timing of these calls, and the content of the text messages and emails, I believe that at least some of these communications concerned the need to prevent Clifford from going public, one FBI agent wrote. August, the Office of Manhattan District Attorney Cyrus Vance Jr. subpoenas the Trump Organization for records related to the payments. The New York Times reports that investigators are examining whether any senior executives at the company filed false business records about the hush money, which would be a state crime. September 17th, Vance's office issues a subpoena for Trump's tax returns dating back to 2011, an indication that its investigation is expanding beyond the hush money payments. Trump sues to block the subpoena 2 days later, with his attorneys arguing that a sitting president of the United States is not subject to the criminal process while he is in office.
What? So they're literally arguing that the president, because he's a sitting president, is above the law. I thought that the whole purpose of the checks and balances and shit was to ensure that the president wasn't above the law. That's a whole other legal rabbit hole of arguments that you get through, though. He's been committing obvious crimes and getting away with them since the 70s because he had the right connections. He's great at working the system. I wouldn't say he's great at working. I've never understood this talking point, right? Great at working the system. Cool. If that means that you can do crimes and get away with it, cool. But I don't think that that's something that we should give people props for necessarily. I mean, obviously it's starting to come crashing down on him now, and the people in his circle, it's been coming crashing down on them. And I think he would have been good if he never decided to become president, because now you have the eyes of everybody watching you. But I don't think that what he was doing makes him any better of a person or makes him any good at any, like, I've never understood. I feel like giving Trump praise for working the system and not getting caught up until I guess now is like the equivalent of like shooting your enemies in a war zone despite the fact that you shoot yourself in the foot every time you fire. It's like, oh, he hit 2 times this time without shooting himself in the foot. It's kind of like, it's weird. It's really weird. I understand that it's kind of like we all have this idea in our brains where it's like, oh, if we was in his position, we'd be doing the same thing. But it's like, the problem is a lot of us probably couldn't get away with that stuff. And another thing is, even if we did do that, I don't know how you feel good about yourself. Like, it seems like this dude was constantly in some sort of legal battle and constantly in some sort of shady dealings with some. It's just like, I don't know, bro. It's not looking
October
good.
7th, U.S. District Judge Victor Marrero turns down Trump's bid to keep his tax records out of the hands of Vance's investigators, determining the president is making a categorical and limitless assertion of presidential immunity. Trump's attorneys immediately appeal the decision. November 4th, the Second U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals rules that Trump's claims of immunity do not bar the enforcement of a state grand jury subpoena directing a third party to produce non-privileged material, even when the subject matter under investigation pertains to the president. Trump appeals to the Supreme Court. 2020. May 12th, the Supreme Court hears arguments in 2 cases involving Trump's tax records. Conservative and liberal justices alike question the president's claim of absolute immunity from state investigations, seemingly skeptical of a blanket ruling shielding the president in non-federal cases. You're asking for broader immunity than anyone else gets, Justice Sonia Sotomayor said. July 9th, the Supreme Court sides with Vance in a 7-2 ruling, finding that Trump is not immune from the district attorney's subpoena. 200 years ago, a great jurist of our court established that no citizen, not even the president, is categorically above the common duty to produce evidence when called upon in a criminal proceeding. Chief Justice John Roberts wrote for the majority. We reaffirm that principle today and hold that the president is neither absolutely immune from state criminal subpoenas seeking his private papers nor entitled to a heightened standard of need. 2021. February 3rd, Vance's office brings in Mark Pomerantz, a former federal prosecutor with deep experience in complex financial and organized crime cases, as a special assistant district attorney. Pomerantz is working solely on the Trump case. February 25th, Vance's office obtains Trump's tax returns, 3 days after the Supreme Court rejected a last-ditch attempt by Trump to keep them under wraps. March 12th, Vance announces he will not seek re-election that November, kicking off a high-stakes race for his replacement. July 1st, a Manhattan grand jury returns a 15-count indictment against 2 Trump Organization companies and Alan Weisselberg, its chief financial officer. Both plead not guilty. Prosecutors from the Manhattan District Attorney's Office detailed the alleged crimes in court and a 25-page indictment filed in state court. The indictment alleges the company and Weisselberg orchestrated a scheme to funnel more than $1.7 million in untaxed indirect employee compensation to the longtime executive beginning in 2005. Prosecutors said the Trump Organization failed to report the payments to tax authorities properly. November 2nd, Alvin Bragg is elected as the next Manhattan District Attorney. November 22nd, Cohen is released from federal custody after serving most of the last 18 months of his sentence under house arrest. 2022. March 23rd, the New York Times reveals that Pomerantz, who stepped down the month before, wrote in his resignation letter to Bragg that he believes Trump is guilty of numerous felony violations. Pomerantz expressed frustration with the new district attorney's handling of the case, writing, "I believe that your decision not to prosecute Donald Trump now, and on the existing record, is misguided and completely contrary to the public interest. I therefore cannot continue in my current position." Pomerantz wrote that the team that has been investigating Mr. Trump harbors no doubt about whether he committed crimes. He did. "I and others have advised you that we have evidence sufficient to establish Mr. Trump's guilt beyond a reasonable doubt, and we believe that the prosecution would prevail if charges were brought and the matter were tried to an impartial jury," he said.
Looks like that the prosecution in Manhattan is very confident.
April 7th, Bragg reiterates that the criminal investigation into Trump and his company remains active. He says investigators and prosecutors are exploring evidence not previously explored. August 17th, Weisselberg, the Trump Organization CFO, pleads guilty. He admits to receiving more than $1.7 million in untaxed compensation and agrees
So
to
that's
cooperate with prosecutors.
2 for 2 now. So Cohen went to jail, and here comes Weisselberg.
In the criminal case against 2 Trump Organization entities. November 17th, at the Trump Organization's trial, Weisselberg testifies that Trump and 2 of his children allegedly participated in a scheme to defraud tax authorities. December 6th, a New York jury finds the 2 Trump Organization companies guilty on all 17 charges of tax fraud and other crimes. Defense attorneys said Trump, who was not charged in the case, was
17
unaware.
charges of tax fraud. 6ix9ine got jumped? Oh my god. Of course.
Of the schemes playing out beneath him, while prosecutors said,
Wait, 6ix9ine got jumped?
Yo, what the fuck, nigga, that's how they supposed to treat you.
Damn!
Mickey Mouse ass, clown ass nigga. Go ahead. Take a picture. Go ahead. Take a picture. I want to be famous now, nigga. I want to be famous.
Bro!
Yo, what the fuck?
Yo! Why you kick him like that?
Jump 6ix9ine, bro. Yo, homie, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm a fan, bro. No, I'm a fan. I'm just saying, bro. I'm a fan, bro. I know, but y'all niggas jumping. I know, I ain't jumping, bro. I'm a fan.
You bogus, like talking about I'm a fan. You just jumped this dude. They jumped 6ix9ine.
Who? Who's?
I don't know, but they talk. Hey, bro, I'm a fan. Hey, I'm a fan. No, you just jumped him.
I'm a fan and then beats him down.
That's crazy.
They jumped him at the gym.
Am I gonna say I feel bad? Nah.
How does nigga get the?
Not really.
How does nigga get the weakest version of everything? So you was a gangster and then you snitch, and you don't get caught lacking in the streets and get shot. You get jumped at Planet Fitness.
Witness protection. Go into witness protection or something.
God damn, bro. He need to go to bed is what he need to do. He needs to stay his ass in the house.
Shit.
So all this just getting better and better. Exactly. What the fuck? Trump finna go to jail. 6ix9ine got his shit tooted in a local gym. What is going on, bro?
Were there just no workers around and nobody did that?
Talking about 6ix9ine ribs in a coma. And man got 69 broken bones now. His face was gushing.
Front desk employee was just like, hey, stop.
That's wrong.
Don't do that.
Yeah, like, my thing is right. In all seriousness. In a towel is crazy. Yeah, because Timothy had to come back from the fucking bathroom. I'm not gonna lie.
Took a shower.
I'm not gonna lie. It being reasonable, right? I don't like that it happened. Purely because, like, at this point, man, we know what 6ix9ine did. I'm pretty sure the motherfuckers who jumped him aren't affiliated with people who he snitched it at. I wouldn't be surprised if these motherfuckers just jumped him just to be cool or some shit like that. Like, what does it say? Okay, it might be people who are affiliated with the people he snitched on, but nevertheless, it's like, come on, man. Just let the man let the man live his life. I'm not gonna look up the aftermath picture. I see one right now. I'm not gonna. They gonna get my stream taken down. That man's face was busted.
But do you honestly care for real that he got jumped?
I don't. It's not that I care. It's not that I'm like gonna be shit. Holy shit, that just scared me. It's not like I'm gonna be an advocate for 6ix9ine, but like I don't think that this was necessary. Like, it's whatever, bro. This shit happened so long ago. It's like,
how many years has it been?
I don't know. Is he's still been out here talking shit though? That's the thing.
Yeah, so it's like, he get jumped, he deserves it.
Yeah, it's whatever.
He talks shit about literally everybody under the sun.
Oh yeah, he did diss Nip. Yeah, fuck him. I forgot about that. He did say some bullshit about Nip. Yeah, fuck that nigga. Talking about it's the little crack in the ribs for me. Okay, I'm gonna get back to. God damn, they kicked the shit out that nigga. All right, back to Trump.
Said he signed off on them.
Yeah, I was on Twitter. I didn't even.
Of course, it's on Twitter.
I didn't
Trump's
know
children
that
also
happened.
deny wrongdoing. 2023, January 17th. Cohen meet.
Remember when the Queen died? Holy shit.
Oh no, Twitter be violating. Why does Michael Cohen look like he? This nigga look like he zooted. I just scroll down, see this part. That nigga look like Sid. Holy shit.
Wait, what?
You like Sid the Sloth.
That's crazy.
Cohen meets investigators, the district attorney.
January 17th. Cohen meets with investigators from the district attorney's office. A new sign that the years-old investigation into Trump may be picking up steam. They're calling me in for the 14th time. So January 17th. Cohen meets with.
It would be crazy if they beat his ass over some Ticketmaster prices. Oh, Lord have mercy.
January 17th. Cohen meets with investigators from the district attorney's office. A new sign that the years-old investigation into Trump may be picking up steam. They're calling me in for the 14th time, so we'll see what happens. Cohen says outside a government office building in downtown Manhattan, adding that he hasn't met with investigators since Bragg took office. This is my first time meeting with Alvin Bragg. January 30th. The New York Times reports that Bragg has recently convened a grand jury to examine the evidence in the hush money probe. The report says Pecker, the AMI CEO, was spotted.
Go back. Okay, yeah, I heard about Alvin Bragg.
January 30th. The New York Times reports that Bragg has recently convened a grand jury to examine the evidence in the hush money probe. The report says Pecker, the AMI CEO, was spotted entering the building where the grand jury is meeting. March 8th, Kellyanne Conway, who was Trump's senior counselor in the White House, meets for at least the second time with Manhattan prosecutors investigating the Daniels payment. Cohen wrote in his 2020 memoir, Disloyal, that on October 27, 2016, he unsuccessfully attempted to call Trump to confirm that he had made the payment to Daniels. Conway, he said, called back and said she'd pass along the good news. March 9th, the district attorney's office invites Trump to testify before the grand jury investigating the payment to Daniels, a move that suggests Trump could face an indictment in the case, according to a source familiar with the matter. A Trump spokesperson says in a statement that the Manhattan District Attorney's threat to indict President Trump is simply insane. For the past 5 years, the DA's office has been on a witch hunt, investigating every aspect of President Trump's life, and they've come up empty at every turn. And now this. The spokesperson characterized the possibility of Trump's indictment as a new political attack and a clear exoneration of President Trump in all areas. March 13th, Trump's lawyer says he will not be testifying.
Are you
before the
for real? In only today's world, which is unironically a direct result of Donald Trump, can someone literally say, after they invite him to testify in front of a grand jury, that the spokesperson characterized the possibility of Trump's indictment as a new political attack and a clear exoneration of President Trump in all areas? After they tell you, we about to charge your ass for a crime that you allegedly may have committed, this motherfucker says it's a clear exoneration. Like, how do you bend messaging so efficiently in your mind? Like, and feel no ways about it? That's crazy. How? Like, that's... Wow. That's crazy.
A clear exoneration of President Trump in all areas.
That's brave.
March 13th, Trump's lawyer says he will not be testifying before the grand jury. He won't be participating in that proceeding, a proceeding that we and most election law experts believe is with absolutely no legal merit, said Joseph Tacopina, who represents Trump. Cohen also testifies before the grand jury for the first time. March 15th, Cohen testifies again for 3 hours. We'll see what happens, what questions they ask, and then at the end the grand jurors have the opportunity to ask me questions, and I'm looking forward to that, Cohen said. Clark Brewster, an attorney for Daniels, also says his client met with investigators from the district attorney's office. Stormy responded to questions and has agreed to make herself available as a witness or for further inquiry if needed, Brewster tweeted. March 18th, Trump takes to social media to warn of his possible arrest and call for protests. The former president posted on his Truth Social network that illegal leaks from the Manhattan District Attorney's Office indicate that the far and away leading Republican candidate and former president of the United States of America will be arrested on Tuesday of next week. Trump attorney Susan Necheles explained to CBS March 13th, Trump's lawyer says he will not be testifying before the grand jury. He won't be participating in that. The former president posted.
I like how he has to throw in the far and away leading Republican candidate as another shot to Ron DeSantis. Put the link to that article in the chat, please. Cool. They want me to sign in to chat, bro. How am I not already signed in? Oh.
On his Truth Social network that illegal leaks from the Manhattan District Attorney's Office indicate that the far and away leading Republican candidate and former president of the United States of America will be arrested on Tuesday of next week. Trump attorney Susan Necheles explained to CBS News that the post was speculation. As President Trump states, his post is based on the media reports. Since this is a political prosecution, the district attorney's office has engaged in a practice of leaking everything to the press, rather than communicating with President Trump's attorneys as would be done in a normal case, Necheles said. In his posts, Trump repeated allegations that the 2020 presidential election he lost was stolen and urged his followers to protest, take our nation back. Following Trump's call for protests, Bragg sends an email to his staff assuring them that your safety is our top priority, and says he is committed to maintaining a safe work environment where everyone is able to continue to serve the public with the same diligence and professionalism that make this institution so renowned. We do not tolerate attempts to intimidate our office or threaten the rule of law in New York, Bragg writes. Our law enforcement partners will ensure that any specific or credible threats against the office will be fully investigated and that the proper safeguards are in place so all 1,600 of us have a secure work environment. Bragg also tells his staff in the district attorney's office that as with all of its investigations, his team will continue to apply the law evenly and fairly, and speak publicly only when appropriate. March 19th, two sources confirmed to CBS News that attorney Robert Costello, who was a legal advisor to Cohen, may appear before the grand jury Monday to discredit Cohen. Trump's attorneys asked Costello to appear, sources tell CBS News, though it's unclear whether he will be called. Cohen, too, has been asked to be in close proximity to the grand jury, which meets in Lower Manhattan, in case he is needed to rebut the witness. Graham Cates, Melissa Quinn.
Cool. So, based on that little line of events, it looks as though Manhattan is ready to bring some charges against Donald Trump, maybe. He is going to be called to testify, I guess, in front of the grand jury. If they do bring the charges against him, then he will be arrested. But it remains to be seen what's going to happen. Why do the people show up to Donald Trump and take the country back? Oh my God, of course they were saying that, because I can't even start with him. He's a character. He's a character. But nevertheless, before we get to the boring stuff, I'm gonna get all the entertaining stuff out of the way. So, it remains to be seen what's gonna happen with Trump. I hope that they get his ass, because from other things that I've been reading, especially when it comes to real estate stuff, it looks like, in the tax situation or whatever, looks like that man's guilty of maybe something. He's got to be at this point. So hopefully they can find something going on. But if they do that, that kind of in a way is helpful and hurtful to Ron DeSantis at the same time, because he has no competition, which means that Ron DeSantis will be the nominee for the Republicans. But the upside for us, at least, is that now all the attention will be focused on Ron DeSantis with Donald Trump loudmouth ass in a prison cell. So what's Biden gonna do is crazy. I'm not looking forward to the debates. I'm not looking forward to the debates between Joe Biden and Ron DeSantis.
See Biden get laughed out the fucking debate.
He's not gonna get laughed out the debates, but the Republican social media is gonna be going crazy because
they're gonna have a field day because he's gonna stutter one time.
Because all Ron DeSantis does is just yell over people. Like he asked a reporter to like clarify a question, and then he just keeps talking over like. And I don't think Joe Biden's going to be able to handle that. But Joe Biden has enough to say that he could make a good case. I just don't think he'll be able to.
Can he say it, though.
Like, he's far and away been, like, a way better president than even I thought he was going to be. And it's just like, I don't know if he's going to be able to... I don't even know who Ron DeSantis is going to choose as his vice president either. That's a whole other thing. That's so far down the line, though. But we'll see. If he chooses Pence, it's hilarious. At that point, he's just a clone. The only good thing about Trump being able to, like, not be in jail is that he's so egotistical that he may run third party if he loses to Ron DeSantis, because he can't stand that dude. And I think their campaigning against each other would be so vicious that it's going to tear both of them down.
Split.
It would tear both of them down if they run against each other for the nomination. So
Which would be good.
It's kind of a good and bad thing if Trump goes to jail. But
which one do we want?
Andrew Gillum tried to tell us about Ron DeSatan. Exactly.
Ron DeSatan is crazy.
Exactly. I'm gonna start making videos about Ron DeSantis too, because oh my god, I was looking at some stuff. The Stop Woke Act, the bullshit that he passed back in Florida like a year ago, where it's like, you can't mention things that have to do with race or whatever, or CRT. They're starting to remove racial references to Rosa Parks in first graders' books. Then you saw the whole book ban thing, which wasn't Ron DeSantis saying that all the books are going to be banned, but they said that these books that fall, books need to be approved by a specialist, and they can't have certain materials in them, or else they can be removed, or people can face legal punishment, which the law was vague enough to where the schools just took the precaution of removing all the books from the shelves so that they can ensure that they don't have anything illegal in the library.
Didn't he say something also about, like, pronouns and stuff like that?
He always says something about...
You can't...
Oh yeah,
people how
they wanted to like ban like anything related to gender expression conversations, which is funny because if you do that, you inherently stop anything about cisgender people being talked about either. But they're never gonna go against that. If a teacher walks into the room and says, "Me and my husband went on a trip last spring," no, they're not going to do it unless it's a man teacher that says that shit. Because I need to show y'all like some research and do an actual in-depth video onto this dude, because the way that they write these laws, it's so vague. It's like the whole "don't say gay" bill thing is basically saying like if you make a child feel uncomfortable with conversation surrounding sexual orientation or whatever, you can be fined up to $10,000. You can have a lawsuit taken out against you. And it's hilarious to me considering that the term uncomfortable is such a fucking vague ass nothing term that like literally could mean anything. How the fuck does a court determine whether or not you were made to feel uncomfortable, and whether or not the comments made by your teacher about how him and his husband went to Acapulco, how do you determine whether or not that made somebody uncomfortable? It doesn't matter, because as long as it's vague enough, they can just say anything made them uncomfortable.
That empty bowl right there makes me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Go to jail.
It's so stupid. Let me turn this camera off and turn it back on. Oh, wait. Oh, cool. That's why that didn't work.
That's what they do.
Yep. Precisely. And it's a goddamn shame.
And all we do is just try and...
They're currently banning, the AP African American Studies courses.
Yep. They make sure to get rid of that one.
They're currently banning AP African American courses at Florida universities. How is this not fascistic behavior? It's literally like definition of fascism. Because if you're gonna... It's funny because a normal politician can just go out and rail about how, they're lying to you about the race stuff, but he can't say that because then he can get easily disproven. So you just put in law that you're banning these courses, and now children grow up just not learning about the shit. And if you don't learn about history, you're doomed to repeat it. So you inherently breed a whole generation of motherfuckers who are just racist because they are unintelligent, because they aren't informed about the history, because their state literally made it illegal to learn about the history, which is fascism. I just finished my examination of gender-based issues in candidate selection. If Ron DeSantis controlled my state, I'd be prohibited from writing about that for my master's at UIS. Precisely. There was a very interesting comment that a lawmaker brought up. It was like, you can't talk about Martha Washington because a very important thing in Martha Washington's history is that she was the wife of George Washington. If we can't mention any gendered roles, then you can't say wife. But we all know that that's not how they're going to enforce it in Florida. They're not going to come after people straight couples for talking about how them and their husband or them and their wife went on. They don't care about that. But when it's gay people, or if it's a teacher saying, hey, gay people exist and that's fine, then we go after them. Or we did the same thing with not hurting white folks' feeling in school. Exactly. Like, oh, if they make you feel uncomfortable with conversations about your race. What do you mean uncomfortable? But it's vague enough to where people who are parents who want to go to those school board meetings and raise hell about some communist curriculum that they're learning in their schools, they have legal standing now in the state of Florida because you made little Timmy feel uncomfortable. Not even that you made the kid feel uncomfortable, but the parent could assume based on what the kid has told them that they're being made to feel uncomfortable. Therefore, because a little kid isn't going to be representing himself in court, therefore, parent could be like, I don't like them teaching you that. We're going to go to court with it. And then they're going to ask the little kid, hey, did this make you feel uncomfortable? And you say yes, because your parent just told you, yeah, it made me feel uncomfortable. Yes, I said little Timmy.
Really?
Yes.
You couldn't find any other name?
Lord have mercy. But nevertheless, we're going to get to him another time. Let's talk about Andrew Tate.
Oh, God, that's a conversation.
So, Andrew Tate is being investigated in Romania right now for charges of sex trafficking. And I've noticed this weird phenomenon with my audience where a lot of them seem to be, or a lot of you guys have brain cells 98% of the time. And then I see that apparently I have like a contingency of people who actually like Andrew Tate who also follow me. Because I guess they just saw me go at somebody and they're like, oh, this kid knows what he's talking about. And they just followed me because they saw me take someone down, but they didn't realize that that also comes with a set of beliefs that I hold that would be directly contradictory to anything Andrew Tate has to stand for.
I like what you say and like what you do.
So I've posted it. I've posted videos about them. I posted one recently. If I can actually find it on TikTok.
I think you're really smart, buddy. You kind of missed on this one, buddy. I was like, wow, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and it'd be the most slam dunk videos where they'll say I apparently missed on, where it's like, okay, then you didn't watch the video. But
racism
funny thing is, you don't even
US.
realize how racist America is until
why
after
the
you
hell
leave.
is this video playing in my damn eardrum?
I want to take these twists out. Oh yeah, these finna lock. Oh, if I don't get these out soon, they just finna lock themselves.
Hold on, cause this shit. Okay, cool. This is the video that I posted the other day. Let me switch over. Here we go. But for real though, so when you think about it, Sneeko has told this story openly about how he used to go to these swinger parties or whatever, which is actually shockingly sexuality for someone who preaches what he preaches, which is why I made fun. Oh, I didn't fucking play the audio because I'm an idiot. Sorry, let's watch the video again. Oh god.
Can someone please explain to me how in the past couple years, the top 2 voices for getting
Thanks,
girls
man. I know
and
I'm
being
muted.
a high-value man is somebody who's being investigated for sex trafficking and someone who watched their girlfriend get fucked right in front of them? Let me say it again. The top 2 voices for getting girls and being a high-valued man is someone who watched their girl get railed in front of him and someone who's getting investigated in a foreign country for sex trafficking charges. How the fuck did y'all let this happen?
So, like I was saying, when you think about Andrew Tate and you think about Sneeko, which are 2 of some of the biggest voices when it comes to the manosphere and the red pill stuff or whatever, Sneeko would talk openly about how he used to go to these things called swinger parties where basically you just hook up with people or whatever, and he used to tell this story about how he watched his girlfriend get in front of him and it brought him trauma or whatever, and he used to be open about this. And me personally, I could never do that. I am not built for that. I don't have the facilities for that. I could not go to a party where I knew someone else was going to be having sex with my girlfriend in front of me, no matter who else I'm having sex with. Can't do it. It's just not for me. And I wouldn't hate on anybody for doing that, because everyone has their own sexuality. Everyone can express that in different ways. That has nothing to do with me. But when you're someone like Sneeko, who preaches all this hyper-masculine stuff, all this, you as a man should go out to have sex with whoever you want while your woman stays in the house and just be barefoot and pregnant and crying or whatever. When you preach that and you hate on other people's relationships, you talk about how people are bots, you talk about how someone's girl is ugly, all this, da-da-da. You better for damn sure come correct when it comes to your credentials. And if your credentials involve you having trauma for someone having sex with your girlfriend right in front of you, you are the last human being on the planet to criticize anybody about their sexuality. If he was cool with it, and he was open with it, and he just did that stuff because that's just the stuff he into, then he could come out and be open about that. But he resents that part of himself. And you can tell he resents that part of himself and that segment of his history because of how antagonistic he is to anybody who deviates from what he considers is the sexual norm or the norm when it comes to men-women relations, because he assumes that it's a good thing that for all of world history, or for a lot of world history, women were literal property who couldn't leave their husband, which is why husbands had multiple wives. But, when it comes to his perspective, it's just crazy to me how the man who's so loud about how everyone else's relationships are trash and people who are monogamous really don't want to admit that they just want to go and fuck around, literally watch his girlfriend get pounded. So, I mean, cool. There's nothing else you can say at that point. What's his face? What's his name? Oh my god, that streamer, or that popular streamer that just went back and forth with Sneeko the other day. They all thought converting to Islam helped their case, which is hilarious because they thought that converting to Islam means, I just get to have all these wives, which none of them have. And Andrew Tate still does incredibly haram shit. Sex trafficking. He was running casinos, which you cannot do according to the Quran. And and there are actually human beings out here who think that they're genuinely Muslim now, but that's besides the point. Most critical. They went back and forth, and fucking hell, Sneeko got eviscerated. But it's just, when I was watching that, it's just like, damn, there's nothing you can say. You can't say anything now. You just can't. You could talk shit about anybody, and Sneeko, because they were going back and forth, and Sneeko has the temper of a 4-year-old. He was dancing around in his camera, waving his gun around, threatening to shoot him. Most critical for talking about him. And it's funny, when you handle things with that temperament, you just make people want to talk shit about you. You realistically can't say shit to anybody ever again, especially not most critical, because you literally watch your girlfriend get I am not taking any relationship advice from you if you couldn't even live up to your own standards. And not to mention that what he preaches to everybody is detrimental to men anyway. So, in response to that, I had some lacking of brain cells people in the... let's see if I can find any here. I can't believe there are people who don't know who Sneeko is. God bless your soul, because I was a happy person before I found out how dumb these people are. People would always be like, some people would say, oh, the second one's wild, or I don't know about the first one, but the second one. And it's funny because a lot of people, oh yeah, I respect your intellect, young man, but Andrew Tate is being targeted. It's history repeating itself. Let me make something abundantly clear right fucking now. If you watch Andrew Tate or Sneeko or you're a red pillar, do not ever invoke the names of Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, or any other civil rights leader at any point in history. They walk this fine line, these red pill types, especially Sneeko and all of them, where they have to be woke on racial justice issues because a lot of the people who watch them are black and young black teens, and a lot of the people who are rampantly misogynist and who follow that motto are younger people who may be in tune to racial justice stuff due to stuff like George Floyd and everything in Black Lives Matter, but they think everything is a conspiracy and they especially don't like women. So you walk this fine line where you have to be conservative on literally every single issue except for anything that has to do with black people. So in the same vein as you putting down a minority in women, you try to gain favor with another minority in black people as if that is a recipe that anyone that you guys invoke would agree with. Yes, because Malcolm X and Martin Luther King would very much agree with you putting down women in the same breath as trying to gain favor and say the black people should keep fighting for their rights. There's literally clips that was shown in I forgot the name of this YouTuber, but he made like an hour something video about Sneeko and how dumb he is, where he said that women have more rights than at any point at any point in history. And then the person next to him goes, well, so do black people. Does that mean that they should stop fighting? And Sneeko goes dead silent, and he's like, well, race is just based in hatred. The gender roles and stuff, that's biology. Well, no, it's not, because gender isn't biology. Gender has a heavy correlation to biological people who, or the biology of the people who exude those roles, because that's how we've been socialized to express ourselves in today's society. But it's not based in biography. So they have to walk this fine line where it's like, I'm going to be, mind you, and a lot of them are colorists too, because a lot of them don't like black women. So I gotta be anti-black women. I gotta be anti-left anything when it comes to like talking about rights for trans people, rights for gay people, rights for women, anything. But on the one issue I'm gonna sound like I'm coherent about is gonna be black issues. And the way they do this is to say that stuff like Andrew Tate being investigated, the reason why they say, I don't know, but he's being targeted, is they try to go to this argumentation where they say, well, Martin Luther King was getting investigated by the FBI and the CIA. He didn't do anything. These black civil rights leaders were having their wires tapped, and you think that the government's just okay and not doing anything to mess with Andrew Tate? First of all, provide me evidence that any of that shit is going on with Andrew Tate whatsoever. If you're going to tell me, well, they're not going to have the evidence because they're covering it up, you're just being a conspiracy theorist, and the time for me to believe that that's happening to Andrew Tate is when evidence is provided. Second of all, don't have the gall or the audacity to try to compare Martin Luther King or Malcolm X or any civil rights leader that got investigated for unrelated charges to try to damage their credibility to Andrew Tate, who's been on camera bragging for the better part of multiple years about how he ran this cam business. He got women to fall in love with him. He had his bottom bitch, which is literally a pimp term, convinced these women to do work with Andrew Tate, even though they were not a part of the industry beforehand. And then you lie, and then he literally is on camera saying he lied to them, would tell them that he's splitting the fare 50-50 after they do their work, but then lie to them and actually take 70 and say that he's just paying more on taxes even though he doesn't, and women are too dumb to figure it out. So they just gave him more money, which is tax fraud. So you're trying to make an equivalence between Martin Luther King being wiretapped because the CIA thought that he was a threat, and Andrew Tate, someone who's been bragging about sex trafficking, being a sex trafficker. They tried to get Martin Luther King on like adultery, which isn't a crime. They just tried to do a reputation attack. Sex trafficking is a literal fucking crime that Andrew Tate has been on camera all but admitting to multiple times. So don't bring me this bullshit in an attempt to stay woke about black issues where you try to say they're crucifying them just like they did our civil rights leaders. No, the fuck they're not. Because Andrew Tate being brought up on charges that he's all but admitting to in a foreign court system is not the same as the atrocities that was committed against people like MLK in the American government. Don't fucking start with me. But, nevertheless, there are idiots who are saying that. So, a lot of people were convinced on how silly Sneeko was. They weren't convinced on what the hell's going on with Andrew Tate. And someone in particular said it came out that all the women were lying about what they accused Andrew Tate of, and this is just all a witch hunt, and the evidence came out. So I told this person to link me what evidence they were talking about, and they sent me to a YouTube channel. Is this the most credible source? No. But we're gonna watch the video anyway and go over it and see if we can figure out what evidence this person is talking about. Because according to this, new evidence in Andrew Tate case shows women trying to get on Netflix. Not sure what this means in the fact that, or the allegation that they're all lying, but we'll see.
Accomplish phase one, purchasing the property. So let's get into this, Dylan.
Yeah.
Let's get into this story.
So earlier today, some documents were released that...
Go back.
Earlier today, some documents were released that were text messages from the two supposed victims that came out. One was the Moldovan that we've already covered, and the American. And if you look over those text messages, you could see how not only did they plot to frame the Tate brothers, they rehearsed it. Going over what to say, how to look, how to cry, and how to play dumb. They even made a joke 2 days before the raid happened, how their performance deserved an Oscar, that they were going to get a Netflix documentary out of all of this, saying things such as, and I quote, "You're such a great actress." To which the other girls said, "I practiced," quote unquote. Their performance was so good that even their own parents called the U.S. Embassy and were freaking out. And the girls got upset with their parents.
God damn all them chips! They came here with 8 chips and 2 iced teas, you big bastard. Anyway, and cosmic brownies. 2 cosmic brownies. That's it. You big body. Getting back to the video.
This is nothing new. You know this already. Every time I leave around 10, 11.
Look, I know
12,
you don't.
I raid the freezer.
Tristan doesn't really care. Tristan doesn't really care if I leave. Blank are in love. They will run back. Da da da. I can't wait to look all of this context.
So it seems that while the mainstream media and the police are saying that the Tate brothers used the lover boy method, actually what happened was these girls acted as if they were in love with the Tate brothers so that they could secretly milk it and get as much money and influence and have people talking about them as they could. So my question is this: how long have the police had access to these documents? I mean, they were already wiretapping the Tate brothers for the past 10 months. For 10 months, the police have tried to bury the CCTV footage that proves the Tate brothers' innocence. And yes, I know what you're thinking. These text messages have already been verified. They're 100% true. But hey, I don't want to just tell you. I want you to actually go and see it for yourself. Check out the article. Come to your own conclusion. Use your own...
Cool. Hopefully they link the article below. This is an 18-minute video. Even if this lunacy were true, which is so obvious, there was more than 2 victims. A, there were more than 2 victims, and B, if the reason why you always need to read what people are saying that they're reading to you is because if this were the case, they had access to these documents. You cannot hold people in jail, in a Romanian jail in particular, if you do not have any evidence to provide to a judge that shows that they are liable to be, or it's reasonable that they should be held in prison. Which means if these text messages really exonerated them to the point where they're scamming and scheming all this to try to frame Andrew Tate, they wouldn't have been arrested. They literally wouldn't have been arrested. But they didn't link. They casually did not link the source of this video here. So we're gonna do some research.
I sat down on the bench. I looked at the score. I'm like, I'm not losing this game. I'm not losing it.
Romanian prosecutors, Romanian prosecutors have previously publicly stated that the case involved accusations of rape, but a 67-page court ruling that ordered Tate and his brother Tristan into administrative detention in late December. Details. Charges prosecutors are investigating against brothers. 2 Romanian women accused. All 4 were arrested. Human trafficking charges. All 4 arrested in December on suspicion of human trafficking and organizing criminal enterprise, and ordered held as investigation continued. None have been formally charged, but prosecutors have outlined the specific crimes that there is a reasonable suspicion that each defendant has committed. Their lawyers say the fact they have not been charged shows a lack of evidence and argue their continued detention violates their human rights. In closed court sessions, Tate's lawyers have said the sex was consensual, according to their court order. Tina Glandian, who has represented celebrities including Mike Tyson, Chris Brown, and... Ha! You represented Chris Brown? Tate's lawyer, yeah, that's crazy. The person who's getting booked on human trafficking has a lawyer that has also represented the woman beater. That's crazy. Yo ass came in the camera like, That's his favorite artist, by the way.
It's one of them.
Okay.
Michael Jackson is always up there.
Okay.
It's always number one. And just because I enjoy Chris Breezy does not mean I condone what he did.
Joined the Tate's legal team this week. Proceedings are close. She cannot consider specific evidence. It speaks volumes that they haven't been charged yet, blah, 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 which is funny because it doesn't. Because that's literally code in Romania where you can be held without charges for up to 180 days. And they keep showing enough evidence to the judge that extends their stay in prison or whatever while they're wrapping up their investigation. So it doesn't speak volumes that they haven't been charged yet because you don't want to charge as soon as the fucking investigation starts. It's dumb. Then you search the residences, sees Tate, former champion kickboxer, blah, blah, blah. Tate is accusing of exerting psychological and verbal pressure to force the women to have sex with him. With two other women at the hotel. Prosecutors said, according to the court order, the second alleged rape occurred 11 days later when Tate used physical violence and psychological verbal pressure to force the women into intercourse. Extensive WhatsApp conversations between Tate and the woman in London and Tristan Tate, an American woman he's being investigated for trafficking from the United States, are also included in the file, as well as references to statements from the women to Romanian authorities. The messages were reproduced in the file in Romanian, but have been translated to English by the Post and have not been independently verified. According to that person in the video, they are verified, though. Prosecutors have said the messages are evidence of method used by the brothers to gain the trust of victims, and they manipulated by posing as affectionate, honest people. So keep in mind, this video said that it looked like the women were acting like they were in love with them to milk them and try to frame them. Do they link to the in the messages in the court order, Tate explained to the woman that he had used a webcam business to launder... What?! The woman raised concerns about Tate's work after seeing his online videos, according to prosecution statements in the court order. It's unclear from the document exactly what videos are being referenced, but the controversial social media influencer has spoken openly on YouTube about videos on how he makes money from women doing sexual performances online. In the messages in the court order, Tate explained to the woman that he had used a webcam business to launder money, which money laundering is a crime, and that he also started teaching men to start their own... it's all a cover, he wrote, assuring her she could trust him. He told the victim that he'd meet her in Romania after taking care of some work in Prague and spoke about the prospect of marriage, which is the Loverboy method. I want to know that you're determined, serious about marriage, Tate stated in one message in the court order. Yes, I am serious, the woman replied. After arriving in Romania, the prosecutor said the victims were brought to a property where Tate produced internet pornography. I'm in the house with the Moldovan woman, messaged Tate. According to the court order, I feel a bit strange. I wish you'd tell it like it is so I know what's going on. What do these girls do exactly? According to the court order, Tate replied that the women in the house work for OnlyFans, an internet subscription service used extensively by sex workers. I mean, do they undress and stuff or something else? The woman responded. No, just a bikini. And the woman wore... No, just a bikini, Tate wrote, and underwear. I thought I would come here and live with you, she wrote the next day. It's a little strange to have you put me with the girls who work for you. The victims who were coerced into producing internet pornography after effectively being turned into slaves, the prosecutor argued, according to the court order. In the messages reproduced in the court, the woman tells Tate that she's being asked to make videos for TikTok. Just do it, Tate responded. According to the court order, it's simple. Suspects took 50% of the online earnings from the woman who had worked for them, according to the testimony of one of the victims cited in the document, who said that the women were subject to fines if they did not post exactly the content they were asked, or if they were cited, or if they cried during a live session or took too long on a break. This sounds like some sex trafficking to me, sir. Tate and his co-accused said the women were free to leave or call the police. Ask them for evidence and they'll give you none, Andrew Tate said as he was let out of the courtroom on Wednesday after an appeals court upheld a 30-day extension of his detention because it doesn't exist. A man in a video appearance on the Fresh and Fit podcast posted online in March last year, Tate called himself a webcam kingpin. He said that at one point he had 75 women working for his webcam business in 4 different locations, bringing in $600,000 a month. Tate said that in the podcast that he was forced to move his webcam business to Romania from the United Kingdom after armed police raid at his house. One woman, whom he said made him about $25,000 a month, had accused him of assault. He had described flushing his phone down the toilet as police banged down the door but denied the assault. I want to see all the messages. This is gonna be a right wing, maybe. Known for his own. Oh, I know this guy. This guy's a damn liar. He debated Destiny about this whole thing, and he was lying his ass off. He's convinced that they were loyal. Apparently, an American woman named Emma arrived in Romania on April 6, 2022, called the U.S. Embassy right away. WhatsApp message showed that Emma's mom said, the whole American Embassy is on alert. Shame you. Made the brothers believe we are in love. We've made the brothers believe we are in love, the message said. They think we will run back. This person does not show all of the fucking messages. I heard that they were clipped from a broader context, but I'm trying to find the broader context. Okay, this is just an entire article about this Twitter. Let's go on Reddit. We're doing some research. Okay. I'll be in London in a couple days. Tristan and his brother are terrible people. Bringing a girl that's been stuck here with me. Maybe I came here for a reason. Cutting my losses. And we're making a plan to leave. These guys are actually evil. Be very careful. Talk to the American Embassy if you can. Bought girl a ticket. She will transfer money to me. Thanks. Send the whole itinerary. How are you going out of this house? Send the whole itinerary. How will you get out? Do you think he will let you go after investing so much in you? They have a plan for you and the girl. It's very dangerous. I'm going to stay at my friend's when I land in London. And we'll host me for a couple weeks and then get some work and make some money out and go on adventures. I'm a little worried about leaving, but we set our flights up for 6 a.m. He moved me into a house with 4 other girls. 3 other girls have been here for 1 to 5 years and are the groomers. They normalize taking your clothes off and sending them pictures all together. Tristan's brother is dating blank from blank. She's broken up with him, and he texted her telling her if she loves him, she will cut an A into her wrist. His name is Andrew. This doesn't sound like... But Jay, you don't understand. They wanted a Netflix special. This doesn't sound like she was trying to convince them that they love... Tristan's brother is dating blank. Tristan, a.k.a. Andrew. Tristan's brother, Andrew, is dating blank from blank. She is broken up with him. He texted her telling her if she loves him, she will cut an A into her wrist. His name is Andrew. They are definitely trafficking women. I told you. Now try to get out of there quietly. Yeah, I'm going to get this girl out. Her name is Aliona. Hi, Dad here. Stop your messages now. Go low-key as you are in a very dangerous situation. This is a secure chat. They don't check the phones. I'm actually in the best position to be able to get out right now. The other girls might tell them, though. We're going to leave when they're sleeping. These girls are brainwashed. They don't do anything except stay at the house, and if they leave, everyone has to know. There are handlers too. Thankfully I'm out of the house with Tristan. I asked to leave to one of the other homes. Blank, please don't think you're more clever than these guys. Keep a low profile. Please be careful how you're getting to get your needs. Don't display your aggression that you have. You will not win. Get to London and come back to safety. We will get the tickets. Tristan let her go. Thanks. No worries. We can get ticks. You shouldn't have to worry about the money. This is my fault. But I'm glad I came because there's another young girl here. That definitely needs my help. Blank, I know, but you're not getting your help with the situation to help anyone who is now at risk other than yourself. Now we should be in total survival mode. Get low key and you're not going to be able to help anyone but yourself. I'm being very realistic. Wake up to your bad situation with no heroics. We just need you to be safe where you can really consider your actions that put you at risk every day. I know the situation. It'll be okay. The best way to approach this is calm and nonchalantly. That's survival. I'll be okay. I just wanted to keep you in the loop. This does not sound like the It's on the far right at the top. The middle brothers made... Okay. Here, I'm getting to it. Nonchalantly. It'll be okay. Just wanted to keep you in the loop. Give you updates. We should be in London by the 12th. Okay, but be ready just to be in transit. We need you back home to really have really in-depth talk. I'm still your loving dad, and as Mom always wanted, as your best friend. Enough of worrying. I'm going to bed now. I'm talking to Blank. It's going to be okay. I love you both. Well... That's really assuring. Tell me what's really going on. I've told you what's going on. I'm remaining as calm as possible. I also don't have a big belief that they'll stop us from going because we've made the brothers believe we're in love. They think we will run back. My main concerns are coming from things the girls are saying. It's a lot to explain, but we will be out of here. Are you for real? I don't think that they care as much if we leave anyway, which is why I feel okay. Sort of okay. A lot of the girls have been brainwashed here. Bear, look, I know you can believe handle this. I'm not too concerned. Tristan doesn't really care if I leave. It's more of the girl I'm with. I think she's with the bottom bitch, or at least one of the other ones, because there are other girls that are helping run this situation. Because 4 of them were arrested. Keep in mind, it wasn't just Andrew and Tristan. A lot of girls seem brainwashed here. I'm not so concerned. I also want to go to London to see if one of the girls and gather evidence. We're going to send it to the FBI. So much for honesty. Okay, I got this on my own, and I want to go to London and finally enjoy my trip. Thanks for the chat. Just wanted to let you know what's happened. You aren't the only ones who know my location and where I'm at. Everything will be okay. Please don't address this. Please don't add stress to it at all. I love you both, and will be unharmed and safe. I just know how important it is for you to the situation I got myself into now. I really just wanted to travel and have a new love have fun and make good money playing music and see more of the world. So I want to go to London just to finally have that experience. It's a good opportunity for me to do that. So let's go back to that article that's taken from this Twitter thread. What did he say? Because I know that this motherfucker here is a liar. Can it take me directly to it? We doing some investigation tonight, boys. Okay. Yup. I think I'm starting to piece it together. Let's go to the next slide. So if anything happens, get the hint that I'll go to the embassy. And I'll give you guys my big brain, obvious fucking take. Embassy and get it expedited. So keep that focus. How will you get to the embassy's help if you didn't contact them on your arrival? Another thing that you've missed. Call 112 embassy. They're waiting for your call now. Thanks, Mom. Like I said, I want to go to London. We'll be okay. If I feel like it won't work preemptively, I'll make the call and do the right thing in the situation. Right now, we both want to be in London. I can't listen to the voice message. Go to London, but why have all the American embassy on alert? You're causing a major upheaval because the Marines and all American squad is on the go now. Get Emma, fuck it. You called, I didn't. Mom, I want to leave London. You called, that's on you. Tell them to come Tuesday when we leave. Then they can see. So it sounds like they were trying to escape. They're trying to find a way to escape without setting everything off. So when they were with Andrew and Tristan, they played into the thing that was already established that she was in love with them, which is why Andrew Tate said, if you really love me, you'll carve an A into your wrist. She didn't say that to him. He said that to her because the method that he was using to convince the girls to stay there was to convince them that they were serious about marriage and that they wanted to be in love and stay together or whatever. So in a way to try to double that down and continue the manipulation, Andrew Tate says to this girl, if you really love me, carve an A in your wrist, da-da-da, whatever. Cool. So, in order to use that to escape in the most nonchalant way possible, she replays into that notion that they're in love in order to gain the trust so that they don't care that she's gonna leave. Because if she gets up and starts acting like they don't love each other anymore, then it's gonna set off some alarm bells and be like, oh, she's acting all weird or whatever. So it was survival. And then the embassy claim seems to, in the conversation with the mom and the dad that this girl's having, I don't know who called the embassy, but it looks like the mom must have called or something, even though the girl didn't want that to happen because then she was going to put everyone on high alert. We'll be okay. Right now, we both want to be in London. See attached, audio, da-da-da. I can't listen to the voice message. Blank, go to London, but why have all the American embassy on alert? You are causing a major upheaval because the Marines are all American squad is on the go now. Fuck it, Emma, fuck it. You called. I didn't. Mom, I want to leave London. You called, that's on you. Tell them to come Tuesday when we leave. So I guess her mom called the embassy. Then they can see everything. Look, if you stop me from going to London, expect me to disappear. I want to go to London. Started a call. How dare you put me in danger like that? You called, not me. Go to hell, Emma, with your arrogance and ignorance and bullshit. Go to what is stopping you? The whole American embassy is on alert. Shame on you. These motherfuckers clipped this so out of context. Yeah, it sounds like she wanted to get to London to make sure all the girls can get out and he will go away for the rest of his life. And somebody, I guess Emma, called the embassy too early. That's your fault. Thanks. Leaving now will be up to those who control your life to their gain. Have you not seen the cost of humanity? It is not just me here, you idiots. There's another young girl here. F you both. You're both ignorant. I should have never trusted you with this information. F off. Okay. Don't bother me personally anymore. No need for this. Blank, blank. I left. Blank. Sometimes it's prudent to just look at life as we all have to. When you get out of the shit that you got yourself into, maybe you only have yourself to blame. I'm sure that you have your own ideas as to own problems. I'm also a suffering guy coping over the last years. Blank. Sorry, didn't finish. Try to focus on yourself. Have your own brilliant. Blank. Just had a call from the embassy. You are to approach any military personnel to gain more weight. At the airport, you should be on the way. To keep me informed. You deleted this message. I promise I'll call them tomorrow. Is that okay? We can do that. We can meet them tomorrow. Just get to the airport now. You're in a lot of trouble and you have to do as you are told for once. I'm way near. You're safe. Just tell whoever you are with that will allow you to go is the best solution. Okay, so whenever they call the embassy, now they know that they're going to crack down on them, which makes their escape impossible because the police are just going to come to the airport now. Wow, lots of victim blaming in this exchange. Yeah. Just tell everyone they know we will leave tomorrow. I promise, Dad. With my Lord, I wanted out anyway. I just didn't need to go to this length. Yeah, so the girl who's been involved in this wanted to get out nonchalantly, but someone, either Emma, I don't know what the relationship with Emma is, maybe it's her mom or someone, called the embassy in advance, which put her whole plan up in smoke. Because now the embassy's on alert and they're going to be notifying them that the police are going to show up there tomorrow or something or whatever. So now they can't just escape by nonchalant means. They have to let them know, like, you have to let us go because the embassy's coming and the law enforcement's coming or whatever. And she didn't want it to explode it to this part because now she's aware that this whole thing has to be a legal proceeding now because the government's involved, where she just wanted to get to London and just go on vacation. I'm quite exhausted after this, and I'll call them tomorrow and meet as promised to go to their office. I love you both so much. The brothers are traveling at the moment, which is why I planned it this way. Can I please go to sleep? I'll keep my promise and go to the embassy tomorrow, and I'll make it there. I haven't slept all night. Just get it done without any of your arguments, not get anywhere. Time to get yourself to the way of the world. I promise. I understand what you've done. I understand why you've done what you have. Yeah, I think her mom called the embassy. Love you both dearly. I just wish I had more control of the situation because I'm in it. You know what I mean? We could have sorted it out together instead of doing this the way it really hurts me. The texts before weren't from you, as you know. We'll see tomorrow's outcome, my friends. We will get you. They're all from me, Mom. All of these texts have been from me. I'm so serious, I swear to God. I was being serious in my messages. That's why you did that? I don't know. You don't know how much danger I believed I was in and how painful that was. Cool, because she was scared out of her mind that something was going to happen to her if the government's notified about it. Now let's go. Good advice, thank you, man. How far is the food, by the way? You're younger as me. We'll talk more tonight, too. Alonia. And the prize for Best Actress is going to Emma. Yeah, I'm starving. I can't see though because the app's not showing me. Image omitted. I need to work a bit. I like to post some more TikToks. A golden Oscar now, please. Fuck Globo? I don't know what that means. LMAO. Once I get famous and rich, I'll make sure to get one for you. I'm just wondering how late we can stay up now. Because Blank is constantly listening. That's one of the brothers. Can't wait for you to watch. Can't wait to watch you in all the movies. You're literally famous in my eyes. Well, we'll see how we do it later. I can't believe you've been alone and all this shit. I'm really happy I'm here with you, honestly. Lol, what do you mean? Me too. It just means you're a badass. And I kind of ignored my family, and I haven't speak out about this with anyone because let's be honest, it's fucking crazy. So she is the girl from the original text is now talking to some of the other girls here about, or I think just Aliona, about their situation before she talks to her parents, I think. This was the same day. This was 11 p.m. This is 10 a.m. So this is this morning before she comes out to her parents and notifies them about what's going on. Okay, so we're gonna start. Where does the 8 a.m. start? Okay. Yeah. I don't know where they'd get the others. I don't know where they get others. Maybe from your Insta. Like with Claude, it's okay. It doesn't matter, honestly. Don't. It's a new account. Don't. Tomorrow, I got it. Oh, wait, no. This is the next day. I'm stupid. I'm sorry. We're investigating. It's fucking crazy. But, like, now you got here, and I think it's crazy. I feel like you're literally a sent from God because you remember me so much as a friend. And because she was Asian, which is a good portion of the person. Same here, I haven't talked to anyone either. I'm happy we've met. I'll protect you and make sure we get out of here safely. I promise. And not because she was Asian, stupid me, I'm sure we can do this. Get out of this fucking mess. If we make them believe we are in love, they will not suspect us of leaving whatsoever. These motherfuckers said that they were trying to trick them into believing they were in love so that they could frame them for something? They're tricking them to play into the lover boy shit that they were doing to them so that they could convince them to leave. Without it looking suspicious. Or if they find out what we do, they eventually will. They won't chase. They believe we're coming back, or at least try to come back. That we're obsessed with them. Yeah, I told you to be saying a nice message, and that we're hurt or shit like that, and we do love them, but we just don't like the situation. So they will not think we are really against them, you know? Yeah, that's smart. Play the victim. I mean, we are, but act like we love them and stuff. Ha ha ha. I mean, we are. Wait. But what? But maybe I just tell them I take off today. Lol. Yeah, just take off. So I don't have to play. Yeah. Didn't we decide on that? Yeah, I completely forgot about it. Silly me, oops. But, yeah, the thing is, I didn't go live yesterday. The thing is, I didn't go live yesterday either. Okay, fuck it, we're leaving tomorrow. But fuck it, yeah. Who the fuck cares if they get mad? Fuck them. And fuck this place. I just don't want them to get suspicious. It'll only be that way if we let them believe that we're fine. We don't even stress. No, don't even stress it, babe. It's pretend it's another day. You're just tired. I don't know where they'd get the others. Maybe from your Insta. Like with clothes. It's okay. It doesn't matter, honestly. Don't. It's a new account. Don't. Tomorrow. Got it. Ha. Nobody knows about it now. Don't do anything about today. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Our song. Don't be suspicious. Oh my god, I realized within the past 12 hours, we realized this is trafficking. We lived in the mentality of trafficked women, believed we had the U.S. Embassy and Marines and the FBI about to break into this house, took selfies with bread, and had a few panic attacks, and now we're sitting here smiling and acting normal. Oh my god, I know, this is so crazy. Oh my God, I realized within the past 12 hours, we realized this is trafficking. We lived in the mentality of trafficked women, believed we had the U.S. Embassy and Marines and FBI about to break into this house, took selfies with bread, and had a few panic attacks, and now we're sitting here acting normal. They literally said we realized this is trafficking. What? These motherfuckers aren't conspiring. You think that this is conspiracy? What are they conspiring? Where has there never been a mention of, oh, we're really about to carry out this plan, y'all. We really about to get these motherfuckers we really finna lie on these motherfuckers. And I was enjoying the time too. She said we realized that this was trafficking. In clear words. Oh my God, I realized in the past 12 hours we realized this is trafficking. I know, this is so crazy. I can't. What the hell? I can't even. We're so good though. We need a fucking Oscar. Let's go. Let's just play it cool. And change my name so it'll not start with an A. Got it. Lol. Interesting fact. When I was to check blank, I was like, are you okay? And she was sleeping and she said she's not able to sleep. Oh, fuck. I don't think that she heard anything because we put music. But it's just crazy. She was one of the ones who smoked those cigarettes. Thank God we played the music. Thank fucking God. I don't think so. She'll never touch blank cigarette. It's blank we're talking about. She steals people's stuff. She's stolen from blank plenty. Blank will beat her. The other girls, trust me. How would she know they're blank? And how would find out? We awake. We leave. Have you ever gotten an Uber from here before? Yes. She probably thought she had it in the bag. What? So this looks to me like these girls were confiding in each other because they realized the situation that they're in and they're trying to escape. And these motherfuckers clipped that shit out of context and said, this motherfucker thinks it's a dub because he said, oh, they don't really care if I leave. Let's see. Framed. What the hell, your ignorance and bullshit. Clips this out of context. It's your fault. This is pre-planned to take the brothers out. Are you fucking kidding me, bro? So before the possibility of being trafficked, he had already contacted. This is April 6th, 2022. I wonder why this says April 6th, 2022, even though this says... Maybe that's when they actually got the message, because this is April 10th, 2022. This all these conversations take place in between the 10th and the 11th. Wow. Talking about they had complete autonomy. I know you don't believe this, but I'm not too concerned. They don't really care if I leave because we made the brothers believe we're in love. They think we'll run back. Like, what's up, Main concerns are coming from things that girls are saying. They had complete autonomy. They could leave. They could come and go as they please. Oh my God. They weren't saying that in general they don't care about they leave because the entire context that they leave out is of people trying to do everything they can to make sure that they aren't suspicious of them leaving. If they had full autonomy, they could come and go as they please. Why would they be so concerned in the context of the messages of making sure they aren't alerted to the fact that they're trying to leave? The reason why it says Tristan doesn't really care if we leave is because they're trying to believe, they're trying to play into the whole act of them being in love with each other so that if they leave somewhere, they won't care because Andrew and Tristan think that they're just going to come back because they said that they love them so much. That's the context of the thing, and these motherfuckers took this and say, oh, they had complete autonomy. When the girl quite literally says, we realized this was trafficking in the last 12 hours. Wow. I practice playing dumb. I'm going to pull some tears out. These motherfuckers literally clipped this up and took it out of context. To try to... This nigga is a fraud. Suleiman Ahmed, you're... Wow, that's crazy. I knew that this nigga had a screw loose when it came to this, when he was talking with Destiny, because he was lying his ass off about a bunch of things and trying to pull the race card on Andrew Tate, as if this is some incidents of systemic racism because this motherfucker with millions of dollars and bunch of cars was trafficking women. And these motherfuckers took jokes saying, let's email Netflix or whatever for the performance that we just put on, as them saying they wanted to actually legitimately get a Netflix special. The girls brainwashed the Tates into... Wow, that's hilarious. Thank you. They could not come and go as they please. That is exactly the reason why they had to fake loving the Tates. Don't you see? Wow. You're for real? Wow. I can't believe this shit. I just read these messages, and these are clearly the message. Bear and Emma are the same person. The messages with no name are her mom and dad. Alonia is the other victim. Emma is trying to help escape with her. It looks like this is what started the trafficking investigation. She told her parents what was going on, and they contacted the embassy. Shout out to Emma for looking after Alonia and helping her, even though her parents wanted her to just look out for herself. I understand the parents' position, though. They're afraid of for their daughter and just want her to get out safely. But again, shout out to her for looking for the other girl. P.S. Tate fanboys got their hands on these messages and circulated edited versions. They're only showing the messages where the two victims are talking about being good actresses and making Tate believe they were in love with them to claim that the women were trying to frame him. It was clear from the edited version that this wasn't the case, but the full context is zero debate. There were victims planning escapes, not trying to frame Tate. They just wanted to let you guys know because their fanboys around there claiming that he was framed. Y'all are for real. You took messages where the surrounding context of people planning their escape, and they're using all the levers available to them to try to reassure Andrew and Tristan that they love them so much that they never go anywhere. So much so that when they do leave the house, they won't even be suspicious because they're afraid of what might happen to them if they get caught. In trying to say that they brainwashed the Tates into believing... This alone is going to get them blown the fuck out in court. And you're telling me that there is no case here, they're being framed? Really?
Two eyes and use your own mind. The Tate brothers have been framed.
There's a news story unfolding that the mainstream media seems to be silent on. It's on what I call the two underwear.
I just read everything they're about to talk about, so let's see what bullshit they get into.
Wearing in public, I don't know if they're strippers, the U.S. and the U.K. girl. Evidence is coming out that they plotted and planned a setup. They literally acted as if they were in love with the brothers. They applied what I would say they applied this lover girl method. The text showing them plotting to frame the brothers. You also talk about how they schemed on what to say, how to lie, how to cry. You know, they bragged about is it true winning an Oscar performance to get on Netflix. And the question is,
Wow,
will
this
the
is
Romanian
disgusting.
prosecutors prosecute what we say these?
The most annoying and satisfying feeling is when you prove someone wrong by reading the same thing they did. Perfect. Love doing this shit. Mind you, I'm pretty sure these text conversations came from the court document, which means that in the document submitted to the court, in order to give the judge justified reason to keep them in jail, these messages were in there. The prosecutors been had these messages, and they went forward in pursuing them because it's quite clearly women acting under the stress of the situation to try to get out of the situation by making sure that Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate believe that they're actually in love with them, so they're not suspicious when they try to leave. Mainstream media is a fat-ass red flag.
Two shaitans.
Yeah, they are shaitan for sure. I mean, we'll see, brother. I mean, they're legally, I can't talk about certain things that are going on, but obviously anything I've put out publicly, I can go into that. And
I'm making a response to this dude. I don't even feel like watching the rest of this video.
In great detail. I mean, we've got, hey, they're, oh, don't worry about it, Mom. We're good. Please don't cause any trouble. Like, as the parents were trying to call the embassy, the U.S. embassy, figure out what was going on. And they jokingly were saying, oh, it's all good, Mom. Don't worry about it. We're good.
They were jokingly saying, it's all good, Mom. Don't worry about it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. You're lying straight to my face. Tristan and his brother are terrible people. Tristan and his brother are terrible people. Bringing a girl that's been stuck here with me. Maybe I came for a reason. Cutting my losses and we're making a plan to leave. These guys are actually evil. Jokingly saying, it's fine, don't call the embassy. How are you getting out of the house? 1 to 5 years. They normalize taking your clothes off. The parents are here concerned. Because they're like, we need to call the embassy, maybe, or whatever. How are you going to leave? We just want to make sure that you're safe. We're going to send it to the FBI. You need to just save yourself, or whatever. And then they call the embassy. And she's mad because she's like, it's not just me here, you idiots. There's some other younger girl. F you both. This is ignorant. I should have never trusted you with this information. You think she's talking to her parents like this out of a joke? And the comedy part comes in when she's talking with her friends about how, oh, yeah. So how is it comedy when this girl is literally saying these people are actually evil? They're keeping people here for 1 to 5 years. They're trying to normalize taking your clothes off in order to try to, like, socialize you into believing that all this stuff isn't weird. And I really want to make a plan to leave. I just want to go to London. So we see that as comedy, but the part where they're laughing about how good they just acted in order to keep a low profile, that's for real, and they actually are trying to get a Netflix series off of this, and they're trying to frame them. You see the mental gymnastics that you have to employ to be an Andrew Tate fan? Wow. This was supposed to be a study stream as well, but I think I'm going to finish reacting to whatever's left of this bullshit and then go about my day.
Leave at any time, and all this stuff is there. It's clear as day. And for me, it's insanity. We do live in the world of shaitan, obviously. So they're just gonna be, the truth. We don't need that. So the mainstream media has this narrative. They're trying to push the human trafficking, but then the evidence, because always the truth prevails. The truth prevailed, and it's like, actually, that wasn't true. Okay, let's try to go over here. But the thing that frustrates me the most about this whole thing, I mean, obviously, I am biased because he's a good friend of mine, but secondly,
that explains that.
There's all this evidence out there that proves the complete opposite. And now these text messages, it literally proves that the lover boy method happened, but it was actually lover girl. They were sitting there acting like they were serious and all that. Oh, okay, I will come out. I think you might be the one. Like talking to them, convincing them that they actually cared about them.
Crazy, because didn't I just read? I want to know that you're determined, serious about marriage. Yes, I'm serious, the woman replied. After arriving in Romania, prosecutors say the victims were brought to a property where Tate produced internet pornography. So he asked, are you serious about marriage or whatever? She's like, yeah. I don't know which woman this is, but she's like, yeah, I am. And then they take them to the house and they're making pornographic content. I'm in the house. I feel a bit strange. I wish you'd tell me exactly what's going on. What do these girls do exactly? They work for OnlyFans, which is another lie. Do they get naked? No, just a bikini. I thought I'd come here and live with you, she wrote the next day. A little strange to have me in the girls who work for you. But this was the lover-girl method. Are you fucking for real? I'm going to chop this up and put it on TikTok. I'm going to enter my Tate investigation arc, and I'm also going to make a response to that TikTok. So whenever someone tells you, yeah, I don't know, but Andrew Tate's being framed, know that they're a fucking moron. Yeah, imagine being friends with the guy. This is someone who literally fled the UK after they raided his house and bragged about how lawless Romania is. And you're telling me he was up to nothing? This is all just conjecture? In a message reproduced in the court order, for instance, the Moldovan woman says she was thinking about going into town. No, Tate writes, going out alone without telling me, mall, supermarket, nowhere. From now on, it's the last warning. Investigation against the brothers was triggered last year when the U.S. Embassy in Bucharest tipped off Romanian police that a 21-year-old American citizen was being held against her will in a property belonging to the Tates. This is the girl who we were reading the messages of. Konstantin Ion Gliga, a lawyer on the defense team, says has parts of messages disseminated to the public exaggerated, distorted interpretation of some harmless discussions in private environment. Defense lawyers point out that the two Romanians described as injured parties in the case have spoken in favor of the Tates, saying they are not victims. The post was unable to reach the other women who are named as victims, which is probably some of the women who the girl who kicked off the embassy was talking about, in like them conditioning the other women and being really weird and some of the shit that the other women are saying. They had tattoos of him. And we know that that's backed up because he says earlier, if you love me, in the messages, if you really love me, then carve an A into your arm. He literally said that shit, so we know that there are certain women who have been brainwashed or have been indoctrinated into the system where they do things like put tattoos on them or carve stuff into them, whatever, to show their loyalty to Andrew, because he's literally said it before to this girl. No going out to the supermarket. The American victim met Tristan Tate on Reddit in 2001. According to the court order, Tate presented himself as exactly what she wanted in a lover. The prosecution argued someone educated, creative, respectful, spent 2 weeks together. He spent a week together with Tristan Tate was on a trip to Miami, and later the idea of visits to Romania turned into the idea of moving, the court order said. One of Tristan's rules for her in Romania was you never talk to anyone unless I introduce you. Messages between the two show Romania is my world. No friends from the outside, he wrote. When the woman arrived in Romania, Tristan Tate told her that she wouldn't be able to leave, and if she managed to, he would make sure that she would return to Romania. The court order said, citing her statement, if she asked the armed guards to leave, they told her they did not speak English, she said, according to the court order. She said that she did not call the police. She said she did not call the police because Tristan Tate scared her. She said that she did not call the police because Tristan Tate scared her and told her that he had surveillance cameras everywhere in the house, according to the court order. He would text her when she went into the living room, she said, to show that she was watching at all times. Tristan Tate defense argued that he had a fun week with the women in Miami, but he did not suggest that she move to Romania. I really wanted to see Romania, and you be the one to show it to me, she wrote to Tristan Tate in April last year, but she also said what she didn't want to do according to the court order. I can't show my body on OnlyFans. Sorry. I want to keep it just for you. And then he tried to force her to do sex work, which would meet the standard of deception, which is needed to prove sex trafficking. This isn't even close to debatable. And I gotta watch this egg-headed fuckwit talk to me about how actually they're trying to pull a Uno reverse card and actually frame them.
I'm out there. They're staying at the house, living their best life, posting their shaitan, very haram TikTok videos, and just enjoying life. And then they're actually plotting the whole time. So
wow.
So at this point,
so we have the first thing that was a red light, where you imagine now someone comes into your house, you got cameras all over, and they come in and they steal your stuff, and now you can clearly identify who did it, you can clearly identify what they stole, but now the prosecution doesn't want to use this footage, for example. Now flip that, if we're understanding this correctly, you have footage of everything that's going on in the house, but the prosecutor now is not using.
I want to look at what they're talking about with this footage. This is the raid video. Not allowed. Women must stay in the house. He literally says the shit. Like, Loverboy method of human trafficking, which Romanian authorities allege Tate had employed in the Okay. I think, because I'm tired, it's pretty conclusive that the messages we just read are quite evidently that after the Tate brothers having employed the Loverboy method, these women who were ticked off to what the hell was going on in this situation and wanted to leave, made their attempt to leave as nonchalantly as possible by keeping on the act that they were in love with each other. As we saw, the girl who eventually their parents ended up taking off the embassy, said that Tristan Tate was everything that she wanted in a lover. And he presented himself as someone that she could actually be romantically involved with. But upon moving to Romania, she realizes, oh shit, this is weird, this is trafficking, these people are evil people. So she continues to keep up the talk of, yeah, we're in love, da-da-da, in order to gain enough trust so that if her and the other girl that she was trying to save were to leave, that they wouldn't be suspicious and then they just assume that they're going to come back. She didn't say, oh, they don't care if we leave because they just let us wander out when we do. She kept reiterating, they'll think we'll come back. They'll think we'll come back. They just think we're going to come back. It's going to be fine. They think we're going to come back. Which is not something you'd say if you had free reign and free movement. And the embassy got ticked off because her parents, who she notified of the situation that she was in, got worried for their daughter and notified the embassy against her will. Because she wanted to make a nonchalant exit that wouldn't put her in danger, but she feels her parents put her in danger by ticking off the embassy to it. Because it was only a matter of time before Andrew Tate and them found out. And then, at the end of the conversation, they were chuckling back and forth to each other about how good they acted in order to try to make their escape nonchalantly. They weren't saying, oh yeah, we're plotting this thing on them. No, she literally says, we realized in the last 24 hours that we were being trafficked, all this stuff, now we're just sitting here talking like it's normal. And these motherfuckers clipped that and thought it was, yeah, they're just actually trying to frame Andrew. It's crazy. It's so crazy how badly these people will lie to you. Will lie to your damn face. Because none of them read all these text messages. The carving to your arm thing, Aliona literally says she's going to change her name to not start with an A. But they're framing him, sure. Literally. Also, did y'all hear about the Nazis who showed up to a Poise Parker talk in Melbourne? No, I didn't. Do you ever mirror smaller creators' content? No, I don't. Cause I consider myself a fairly small creator. But I don't usually mirror anybody's content. I just kind of come up with ideas and do them. Like, I'll see people. Usually, actually, if I see somebody do something or whatever, it kind of completely turns me off to doing it. I know people have covered this same, like, topic, but I hadn't actually done it for myself, so I wanted to do some research. But if I'm planning on doing something for a video, if I see someone else already did it and they did it really well, I usually get turned off to doing it at all. But thank you guys for joining with me. I need to try to study for an exam that I have tomorrow. I was supposed to do that on stream, but I'm so tired and I can't stand this light in my face. So, and I'm sick and tired of talking. So, yeah, that's crazy. These motherfuckers lied to you. I'm gonna chop this up and make this part of a video segment that I'm gonna post on my YouTube channel, and then I'm also going to make a TikTok about this ass hat here. So, yeah. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys for watching. Have an awesome day or night wherever you are. I appreciate each and every one of you for stopping by. And
I need more of this.
You're going back down to get more. Oh no, you're
the
throwing away.
union's closed. I can't. But this stuff is amazing.
Oh, what's my major now? Real quick before we log off, I am a law major still. Yeah. I have to go actually try to get some things done. So, thank you for the good luck on my exam. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope this was entertaining. I'm going to try to stream this weekend too. But, yeah. Have an awesome day and night wherever you are. And, peace. Thank you for tuning in.